Oh my, Luis, yes.
This is Untitled.
This is Untitled. But how about this week's episode of Mandalorian, bro?
The season finale was fire.
Season finale, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was. A lot of people didn't really care for the ending.
Who are these people?
Let me just tell you something, okay? Star Wars fandom fucking sucks. First F-bomb right there of the episode. But it's true. Star Wars fandom is always hating on everything. They don't appreciate what they have.
It's very true.
And without getting really into that, the only reason I say that is just they always try to nitpick things, and people that really don't look at the negative side of Star Wars are happy with what they get. Now, that's not saying that you should never complain and just be happy, but trying to nitpick and trying to be upset with what you're getting is trying to find something to be upset about is different than being upset about something that you should be upset about.
Yeah, what they should have really been upset about is how long it took directors and producers to come out with these new seasons and episodes of anything, really. Because, you know, before all this new stuff with Disney Plus, you know, and then that made a huge movement on Star Wars and Marvel.
Oh, yeah, for
And
sure.
before that, there was no movies coming out. We were still watching the same Star Wars movies.
Oh, yeah, before that, you were getting a trilogy like every 15 years. 20 years.
That's what I'm saying is like,
You got the original trilogy that came out, and then the prequel trilogy that ended, I think, in 05? 05?
dude,
So,
show them that. What is that?
this? So, this piece right here, this isn't the actual piece, this is a cover for it. So, if you went to go see Revenge of the Sith, or you bought Battlefront 2, like when they were out at the same time, you would get like a, what do they call it? Lithograph. So it's like an art piece. So you put this,
Oh, dude, that's sick.
yeah. So
Don't
you
take
put-
it out. Don't
no,
take
no,
it
no, no.
out.
But you put this right here in like a frame, like you framed the Darth Vader thing. And you can see like when I kind of wave it.
How did you
at
get
the
that?
light. It was at a comic book store.
Oh,
Yeah, where I got that comic.
yeah. Luis is very. He's very. We'll just say he's into comics.
Yeah,
But
that's an okay one.
understatement.
That one's
That's an
cool. I
understatement.
like this one a lot, but
we-
well, the reason I was saying
I like
the
how you
reason I
brought,
was
I'm sorry
Huh?
to interrupt, but I noticed that you showed the Spider-Man comic, and you're also wearing the Spider-Man shirt.
oh yeah, I am.
Let's
That
go.
makes a lot more sense.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
but I think the reason I said that because you're asking who these people are,
Yeah.
just they always find things to complain about. So if you remember, season 1 ended, everything ended on a cliffhanger, right? Every season so far. So season 1 of Mandalorian ended with him taking his helmet off, even though that's against Creed, right?
Yep.
Actually, that was season. No, season 1
That's season 1.
or season
I
1.
believe that's season 1, and I
Right.
think season 2.
Season 2 at the end was when Luke came out and he saved everybody. So
Exactly.
they had that, and it was like no way. It was like a huge thing, right?
Yeah.
Season 1, you also had IG-11 die. That's the assassin robot. That was a really big
Yeah.
sentimental thing for Grogu. So seeing the way that this season ended, I think people were just too.
They wanted more
yeah, they,
climactic.
yeah,
ending.
but I think they really underestimated that episode because that was an entire closure of a chapter of Mandalorians at what they went through as a people.
And I think that's what the season was about.
Yeah, 100%. That's why it's the same thing every time they get to one episode. Oh, this season's bad. I'm like, you guys just need to like calm down and it's a season. It's not, this is a movie or an episode. Like
It's a season.
it's a season. So you got to let the whole arc finish for you to understand why season 2 is just as important as, or chapter 2 is just as important as chapter 8 or whatever you want to call it. Right.
Exactly.
Or episode. So, I felt like with this episode, right, you saw the Darksaber get destroyed, which a lot of people were like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, that's, you would think based on the if I'm correct.
Mhm.
Based on like the Mandalorians, that's their sign of like strength, isn't it?
So
What is that exactly? What's the
so
lightsaber?
from what I know, the dark saber was created by a clan member of Vizsla. So remember Vizsla was Pat Vizsla from this last episode. Paz Vizsla was the one that died, the bigger
Oh,
guy that
yeah,
got
yeah,
died by
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Praetorian Guards. So his family line is very almost royalty in Mandalore. So
Oh.
he had created this weapon as a offensive weapon against the Jedi because they've always butted heads. So Mandalorians they're all about fighting, whether it's with somebody else or with each other. So to even the odds, even though Beskar is probably the best defense they can have because it just reflects right off of lightsaber light. You know, it's you can't be penetrated. Right. So they created that weapon to have an offensive advantage against the Jedi. But it had always at that time been seen as whoever held that was a leader in power, right? So if you had that, you were the leader of Mandalore, you were the leader of your people. But it became a cursed way of having a person in power
Exactly.
because that was the source of power or in other words, that was what would make you into power rather than the person in power.
And I think that's what divided them.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Yeah.
So you would have the leader of Death Watch like in Clone Wars and in Rebels. It was actually really in Rebels that he was also a Vizsla that inherited the Darksaber. That's where we really saw it for the first time in canon. That really was the leader of the Mandalorian people, but it was so divided at the time that he was just the leader of the Death Watch. So it was used more as an evil offensive weapon. So then you had Maul then go next and defeat him and take it so he could rule Mandalore. So it's all in evil intentions to rule Mandalore rather than somebody rising to power and them being gifted an offensive weapon that they should get.
Yeah,
right?
Like a knight.
Yeah, exactly. So the Darksaber is a cursed weapon. So being that it was destroyed, it was almost like that chapter of being divided as a people was over and they were able to grow together.
Yeah,
and rebuild Mandalore. Yeah.
Whenever I saw that it was destroyed, I kind of didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the bigger picture of how you're describing it, but I saw it as like, oh no, it's going to divide the Mandalorians. But if anything, it
united them. And that's like a tipping point that you have. Like there's either, especially with something that critical, it'll either divide you really far or it'll unite people. That's with anything, right?
Yeah.
So that was symbolic for that because they've always been divided as a people.
So I kind of want to go whenever you're talking about Beskar armor. Kind of want to.
Oh, Beskar, yeah.
Beskar, sorry.
Yeah,
the Beskar armor, dude. I want to look at the different type of helmets, and I kind of want to know the difference between, like. So if you guys saw the last episode, spoiler alert, if you haven't, wait, they did show up, right? The clones showed up.
Yes.
Beskar.
Yeah.
In the previous chapter.
Yes. It was the previous chapter. So that's when they got ambushed.
Yeah. So what's the difference between? Is their Beskar the same as the Mandalorian's Beskar?
No. So if you notice when Moff Gideon talks about his new suit, the Dark Trooper suit, right? He said it was constructed by Beskar alloy. So when you put alloy in there, it's not pure. So like Din Djarin's outfit, right? His Beskar armor is pure Beskar. It's a purest form. His is alloy, so it's mixed with other metals to make it strong, but the Beskar is almost like an added thing to make it stronger than a normal armor.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right, so it's not pure. It's nearly not as powerful. But because it has Beskar in it, they were at a position where they were ambushed, so they didn't really have time to really put a trial and error basis of how strong is this, right? Because they're Mandalorian, they know how to fit between armor. They know how to, kill somebody between armor. They know their different moves to take advantage of them.
Exactly.
So that was their fighting tactic rather than going, oh, let's see how strong this armor is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was, I'm glad they added that in there because it was really important to show that. No. I think part of that too, they added that because the armor is that main source as far as these Mandalorians that we've seen in these episodes that's creating these different armor plates.
Did Boba Fett have Beskar?
Yep. Yeah, Beskar.
Really?
So Beskar in Mandalore is like their chief like source of like material, right?
Yeah.
Their
It's like their
resource.
gold.
It's yes, exactly. It's their most prized resource is Beskar. That's Mandalore and Beskar are 1-1. So any Mandalorian that you see, they have Beskar armor, pretty much. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Wait. Maybe I missed it out. Maybe I missed out, but or maybe I wasn't just completely like into the whole Boba Fett series. But like what drove Boba Fett like out of Mandalore? You know, like what set him different? Like what made him different than the other Mandalorians that he was like super important in the Star Wars movies? Why was he even involved in there?
So
That's
if we rewind time, because everything when it comes to
it's backwards, right?
Star Wars, well, it's a one singular timeline, so it kind of helps you a little bit, right? So the story actually starts with not with Boba Fett, but with Jango Fett, his father. So Jango Fett was the he was basically the one that they cloned all the clone troopers off of. He was the Mandalorian that they cloned him from.
Oh.
So his father was the first, if you want to say quote unquote clone trooper, he was the first clone. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
So was he the only Mandalorian at the time?
No. The Mandalore as a people was so divided, they were just all over the place. They didn't really have unity as a people like, "Oh, I'm going to go to Mandalore." And it just wasn't I mean, you could go to Mandalore, right? But as far as a people, he was a bounty hunter. So he just did his thing. He was kind of like Din Djarin was a bounty
yeah,
hunter.
Exactly.
He's doing his own thing, right? But at the time, the Senate and I guess you would say Palpatine, right?
Yeah.
They had orchestrated for him to be the main Mandalorian to base that cloning technology on. So they had clones. So that's why they all look the same. It's basically based off of him. So
That's the craziest thing.
right. So that's Jango Fett, right? So at the time, that was right at the start of the Clone Wars because that's what was happening, right? So
Can you pull up the timeline? Because
yeah, I can actually. It'd take me half a second. So, okay. So, side note here. I'm gonna get into this later, but this is a side note. Okay. So as far as Star Wars canon timeline, okay. So if you notice right here now, you guys won't be able to see this, but I'm gonna read it to you. Revealed at the Star Wars Celebration 2023 that happened just a few weeks ago in London. Okay. So the original trilogy that we know is basically starts here, the fall of the Jedi, right? Up to the reign of the Empire. So A New Hope is right here in the reign of the Empire. Age of Rebellion, that's your Empire Strikes Back, and then into Return of the Jedi. That's all right here. Okay. Now, basically, these two here are your sequel trilogy, and then your prequel trilogy is before the High Republic, into the reign of the Empire. Basically, the prequel trilogy's here, and then this is your sequel trilogy here. So the part I'm talking about with Jango Fett is really the fall of the Jedi, like right here going into the Clone Wars. So
all of the Mandalorian, like what we're watching right now, is like hot before the High Republic, or is that?
no, so what we're watching right now is the New Republic right now. So Age of Rebellion is Return of the Jedi, right? They successfully overthrow the Empire, and now we have the New Republic. Remember, they were talking about the New Republic as being like the new. Remember they were talking about Navarro is a standalone planet, not in the New Republic system.
Yes.
They're not in right. They're not in protection of
Yeah.
them. So that's right in this era, right here before the First Order. Okay, so this takes place. The Mandalorian that we just saw basically takes place about 20 or so years prior to The Force Awakens.
Oh shit!
Right, so it takes about 25 years before that. So, anyways, to continue with the timeline, so you have Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones. Mace Windu kills Jango Fett in front of Boba Fett. Boba Fett's a little kid at the time.
Yeah.
He's seeing all this happen. He sees, prior to that in the films, you see Obi-Wan go to, what's it called? Kamoa?
Kamoa.
I think it's
or something
Kamoa.
like that.
It's a water planet where there's a special type of aliens that they've always dealt with cloning technology and genetics.
Yeah.
And that's where they're secretly making the clones. So once they make the clones and all that, then that's when the Clone Wars start. Clone Wars are used as, oh, this is our supplement to droids, battle droids. That's when the Clone Wars start, right? Fast forward to all that. Well, it turns out the whole time there's chips in their head that they're saying, nope, this is to overthrow the Jedi,
Oh shoot.
to kill all the Jedi, to basically ambush them, right? So while that happens, Boba Fett is growing up through all of this, right? Through the fall of the Jedi, through the Empire as a bounty hunter. So you see him in Rebels as a little kid, and he's growing up with bounty hunters. And that's how he learns to be like one of the most infamous bounty hunters in the galaxy. Even though in the films it doesn't really show it that well, but I think
that's what his story is.
that's what his story is, right? So then you fast forward through the original trilogy, right? You see he comes in like the last minute in Return of the Jedi for like half a second.
Yeah, and
then he gets kicked into the pit, right?
Yeah.
And then that's where the Book of Boba Fett starts. Because at that point, everybody thought, oh, he died. Well, he didn't die, because you see him in Mandalorian come out of nowhere, right, and save Din Djarin.
Din Djarin.
Right. So, and then the Book of Boba Fett kind of shadows the story of what happened to him coming out of the pit and then going through the Bacta tank. So the Bacta tank is like what they use to heal them. I don't know if you know that. So
Yeah, it's basically like
it's like a healing tank.
You put them in like a water tank thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what really separated him, is I think he went pretty much through like all of the main reign of the Empire, before that, after that. So it really helped him, I think, as an arc for a character. So he was just a meaningless bounty hunter, and then going through and seeing all that, going through his own trials, going and, finding himself through struggle that made him, not really be a crazy bounty hunter anymore. So
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy that those are like the first Mandalorians, right?
yeah, no. So the
But I mean, like the most
well-known?
mainstreamed and
yes, I mean Boba Fett's the guy if you want to name somebody. Now in the last 4 years, it'd be Din Djarin, right? He's taking the
of
spotlight
course,
as the
he's
main
taking the
Mandalorian.
well,
But I think that's why this season was so important, because the Mandalorian is more than just him, Din Djarin. It's a people, the Mandalorians, right?
yeah.
You have one of the most that I think everybody kind of sweeps under the rug is Bo-Katan.
Oh,
We saw it.
Bo-Katan's awesome.
Oh yeah, she was, she was trained by Jedi. That's how she knew how to use a dark saber, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, and then Sabine Wren too. That's the one that's going to be in Rebels. Well, it was in Rebels, but it's going to be in Ahsoka. She's
Oh yes, she is the what did they show her helmet yet?
no, she was helmetless,
Right.
but she's always the one that spray paints and colors,
Yes.
and she's
Yeah.
not really like the typical one color. or
I wonder
something.
what her helmet's gonna be.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be fire. I don't see. They'll probably show her working on it. I
So-
would imagine.
When whenever they like with the new Mandalorian system right now, right? They kind of just like are you trying to, unify together, unite together, whatever. And obviously they're accepting different types of Mandalorians. So they accepted
Absolutely.
like Bo-Katan, which, she doesn't wear her helmet around, but
Right.
for some reason it's okay. But obviously they explain why it's okay that
Mhm.
she's able to do that. Because
Right,
she
and
went
I
into
think
the waters.
the main reason behind that is so at the time, right? If you notice, her helmet's a little different than others. Some wear different markings on their shoulders to show, the people that they come from, the kind of creeds that they go off of. So she's part of the Night Owls. You have Vizsla, who had like the 3 scratch marks right here. That's the Death Watch, which isn't no more, but that was like the main creed of like almost, you call it like a cult, where then you wouldn't take your mask off, stuff like that, right?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Din Djarin, he was a kid who just got basically rescued by these Mandalorians when the droids ambushed his family. So he grew up into this creed, right? And it didn't do him wrong at any point. So he was, that he thought that was right.
Yeah, you
So
thought that was a way.
exactly. So with Bo-Katan, the reason the armor was like, you know what, you can take your helmet off, and it was more not to dismiss the creed in general, but it was to unify other Mandalorians that didn't go by that creed, because there's so many different tribes or peoples of Mandalore that needed to come together, and it was more important for her to show that she was a mix of everything to unify everybody rather than just stick to the creed.
So is that girl that spray paints? I don't know her name.
Sabine.
Sabine. Okay. Is she a Mandalorian or is
She is a Mandalorian. So her story is interesting. She So she comes from the Wren family. That's a royal family in Mandalore.
How many royal families are there?
Well, you got to remember. So at the Mandalore's been divided for so long that you can imagine it like this, right? Mandalore's a planet, so it's almost like here on Earth you don't have one kingdom or anything, right?
No,
You don't have
multiples.
Yeah, you have multiple countries, you have multiple leaders. It's almost like that. We're all humans, like they're all Mandalorians, but they all come from different backgrounds and people because after so long they were with war with each other that they weren't really one people anymore. And that was their biggest weakness, is them dividing and fighting each other.
Yeah.
Or else they would be the most powerful planet in the galaxy without even a doubt. Not even a doubt, I wouldn't say. They would be the most powerful planet as a
Not
planet.
even like the Jedi.
Well, the Jedi don't have a planet. They're a mix of different peoples that come.
That's true.
And that,
That's very true.
they just have different midichlorian counts. They're brought into the Jedi, religion, as you would call it, right? So as far as a planet goes and a people, they're the most powerful people.
Oh, yeah, I can agree because they're meant to battle. And
Oh
they-
yeah, that's everything for
and
them.
when they're united, they're very strong. And we
Right.
saw that on the last episode.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was super awesome whenever you got to see, like, not only like the Mandalorians take in their own people,
Mm-hmm.
but they took in like Grogu. They
Yeah.
took in, which was like a big deal
Oh yeah.
because he had no parents, and you saw spoiler alert that Din Djarin is like, I'm gonna adopt him.
Oh
And
yeah.
he's gonna be my apprentice.
Exactly.
And I was like, dude, that's super dope because, you would think they were so like stern on their rules and their laws. Whenever,
But I
you're
think
watching
that's the most
episodes.
important thing that everyone, as far as a people, has learned, that it's not really about that anymore.
Which is sweet because whenever you watch The Mandalorian, you have nothing but respect for the people that are in the Mandalorian,
Right.
Mandalorians, because you can see how strong they are
They
together.
have certain beliefs.
And they have
they
certain
have-
beliefs, and it's more controlled, and they feel because with the Star Wars, just in general, like with Jedi's, and obviously the Empire, and all the bad guys, basically, it was kind of all over the place. You never got to see like a certain group be super powerful.
Right, and I think that's because a lot of what we've seen in Star Wars so far are power shifts, and struggles and reigns to power, rather than seeing someone at a certain people or side be at their height, right?
Yeah.
So for example, like Sabine Wren, like I was talking about earlier, right? She was exiled from her family because she went to the Empire, as she went and learned there, and was going to the Imperial Academy, and she came up with a certain machine that would destroy and go through Beskar. Yeah, she developed a machine that would go through Beskar. And
she's that intelligent girl, right?
yeah, so she would do that, but what happened is she didn't give him those plans; they took them from her. And
shit.
yeah. So
Maybe
she
I
was trying
didn't
to develop something, but she instead gave.
them the basic demise of the
Oh yeah,
Mandalorians.
it was nuts. So, obviously that was used against him, right? So I think but she had a really big arc in unifying, giving the Darksaber at the time for Bo-Katan on her first attempt to rule the people. That was what she did.
So I have a question. Maybe if
Mhm.
you know, or maybe we could look it up. But
Sure.
I guess the master or the creator of like the metal, like of the one that creates the armor.
The armor, like
Oh, is that what she's called?
yeah, the armor, like the one with the skull helmet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the armor.
So
Mhm.
like she has a super dope ass like helmet.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
one of my favorites, other than Din Djarin's. But how old is she? Is she the only one, the armorer, that builds the armor?
So I'm sure as Mandalore is now united. It's now not known as cursed. Everyone's not spread out anymore. So I'm sure they're going to find other people that can,
Because it's such a slow rate on how they develop armor. Like whenever she was creating the the armor for
Grogu.
Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of took a long time. I know, obviously, like it was pretty quick in the sense of like half an episode or whatever, but you could see that it took time.
And you got to remember too, everything when it comes to Star Wars is in general is symbolic, right? But also everything with these people is more than just this is my armor piece that's going to protect me. It's a symbolic of who they are, right? So it's not just them. It's not like a manufacturer like Ford trying to make something. There's the whole process of it in itself is part of the journey of it, right? So it's like a not like a
reward,
ritual,
but
not like a
reward.
ritual, kind of, but it's more like a process or a ritual that they go through to get their armor, to get their pieces.
Oh, I see.
Right. So as they go on their
So it's
journey,
like
they
a
receive certain
milestone.
things. Yeah, kind of. I would maybe not milestone, because if you notice the little kid even has a helmet, stuff like that. But there's certain things that as you get it, you're growing into being a Mandalorian, right? So your armor is everything, right? Your jetpack is everything. Your darts are everything. Everything.
Do they decide what kind of armor they want, or is it kind of just like surprise?
No, I would think that, without knowing too much, I would think that they would pick their own, right? Because you see people with
'Cause
different
the
colors.
Mandalore, like, I just said his name.
The armor or Din Djarin?
Din Djarin, bro, has the best,
Oh, he's got the cleanest look.
cleanest
Yeah.
look.
Well,
Hands
his
down.
is pure. Like when I say pure Beskar, the pure is the pure Beskar.
So why is his like better than any other Mandalores?
No, but you got to
Mandalorians?
remember. So they're also, some are blue, some are green. They're painting them. That's just pure Beskar, no alterations. That's just Beskar alone. So there's no paint on it. There's no markings. It's just Beskar.
That's badass.
Oh,
He's so sick, bro.
He's fire.
Not-
And Pedro Pascal, right, is the guy who voices him, right?
Yeah.
He just said in another interview recently, he goes, I will literally play the Mandalorian until they stop writing for me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care if I don't fit in the suit anymore and somebody else has got to be in the suit, I'll be there to voice him. Like, I'm there to be Din Djarin forever.
Dude, that's so awesome. And
That
I
is
respect him as like as an artist in the sense of like, acting and being
Oh,
very
yeah.
professional about it. Because when I don't think people understand like the directors and producers, but whenever you take a part in like huge like series like Star Wars
Right.
or like Marvel, you switching a character up is like almost forbidden.
Yes.
Right? It has
In
like
a
that
way,
forbidden feeling to it because
Yeah.
you're like, they just betrayed me.
in a
like-
way, yeah. And they're, I think that all started with Marvel in 08. Making
Yes.
Iron Man. That was like them setting the tone of, if you're going to make a collective series, whether it's about comics or Star Wars or books in general, if you have this person playing this character, that there's a continuation in that.
And I think it's more serious for Star Wars because, like in Marvel, they have different universes. So
Yeah.
they actually pulled off like having 3 different Spider-Mans
Oh yeah.
because they're like, okay, we have this flexibility because they go into different universes and
Right. Different realities,
and different
multiverse.
realities. Yeah, exactly. And that means we can, kind of see who's a really good Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
I agree. And the only time that you've ever seen a different, well, not the only time, but the main time you've seen a different actor reprise a role for someone else is Obi-Wan. So Alec Guinness was the first. He's Ben Kenobi, right? Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
In the original trilogy, and then you have, what's his name? Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor.
You got to show me. I'm not.
Ewan
I'm not too
McGregor's the
familiar.
one with the beard, like from the prequels.
I can't remember.
Obi-Wan? You don't know Obi-Wan?
Yes, I know Obi-Wan. That was one of my favorite Jedis. But I mean, like, you're telling me.
Like 2 different ones?
Yeah, I didn't know there was 2 different ones.
Yeah, so watch, if I look up Obi-Wan Kenobi, right?
Obi-Wan, Jesus.
He looks like Jesus in Attack of the Clones, bruh. I'm gonna have to show you, damn it. Okay. So
He looks like Jesus.
so right, you
Oh,
have
yeah, that's
prequel.
that's the original one,
yeah,
right?
well, in timeline, yes, but not in the original as in chronological order when they were Like,
Okay, well, show me the other Obi-Wan.
I'll look up. Alec Guinness.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
but this only made sense in the timeline because obviously the age,
Kind of. Yeah, kind of.
and they like that Obi-Wan was more on the retiree side. You know,
Yes,
he was
he
kind of
was in
just
the-
like
He was basically what Yoda was to Luke in the beginning, right?
exactly.
He was like,
so I didn't see the don't take this like just take this like soft. You know what I mean? Don't take it in a hard way, but I mean like he wasn't that much of an impact in the scene of Jedi. Obviously he was respected, don't get me wrong, but I mean like the prequel one, that's the Obi-Wan I remember.
oh, so
was-
you mean, okay, you don't mean Obi-Wan in general. You're not going to have me flip a desk on this thing, right?
Yeah.
You don't mean Obi-Wan in general. You meaning this Obi-Wan.
yeah, this Obi-Wan.
So I disagree. And the reason I disagree is you got to remember there's no Luke without this man right here. We don't get the Luke here without him. So
Well, that's I get it because he finds Luke.
no, he doesn't find him. He
Doesn't find Luke. Maybe I haven't watched the fucking movie in a long time.
he doesn't find Luke. He's tasked on watching Luke to make sure he's okay. So he's his protector from the time
and
of
make
his
sure that
birth
the Empire
all the
doesn't-
way. Yes, the emperor or the Empire doesn't find him.
Yes, because I knew that he was involved with that, but I
Right.
didn't realize we didn't get to see his skills yet, or maybe I don't remember the movie well enough because I'm just saying bullshit.
and
at
you,
this
well,
point.
you have to
'Cause
remember.
how recent has it been since you've seen that movie right there?
Okay, you're asking the wrong person, but in a normal person, probably a long time. But me, it's not the same. You know.
Yeah, he's more recent because
So
Like-
basically, what I'm saying is, you got to
Luis is
remember at the time when
religious.
this was filmed, the lightsaber fights aren't how we grew up. Lightsaber fights, a couple hits, and it was more of an emotional fight rather than a physical one. So him fighting Darth Vader in the first Star Wars, or quote unquote the first one that was filmed, right, in A New Hope, and he dies. Remember?
yeah,
So that's when he turns into a Force ghost and he just dies, right? He just
yeah.
turns
So-
into the Force. Yeah.
Oh, is that what happens when they die? They turn into the Force?
It just depends.
I thought they were just fucking Casper. Whenever I saw Yoda, remember at the end of which movie is it? But you see them all dead, right?
That's Return of the Jedi, and they
Return
show
of
them all
the Jedi,
blue.
They show them all blue.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? I was confused because at the time I think I'm like 8 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so
that wasn't the last
that's
time I
them
watched
in the
it 'cause I've
Force. That's
seen
their
it-
Force ghost.
I've seen it probably within the past 5 years, probably even longer. But like from what I remember, because everyone should respect Luis when he reviews this because he's going to carry this pod in the sense of
I'm gonna
he
try.
understands and obviously he knows his limitations
Right.
because
Yeah,
there's a
I'm
lot of
definitely
people
not
that
gonna
are-
be the person that
there's a lot
pretends to know everything because you got to remember, I don't have time to read Legends comics. I don't have that damn time. I don't read comics when it comes to this shit. I don't. What? Is there something on me?
there you go, you got it.
What was it?
I have no idea. I think it was lint.
Oh, that sucks.
But anyways, I think
Damn it, we gotta re-record.
so
No, but what I'm saying is I don't really have time to read Legends and go all like this deep. I have a life here, so this is
to the
part
people
of it,
that do
but-
read, you probably do have a life, but Luis also is highly involved in Marvel, DC. He's got.
I'm
and
well-rounded.
He's well rounded,
and that's
like,
I think that's the biggest thing.
and there's a lot of people that are just Star Wars fanatics, and they're probably like, when they watch this, they're probably gonna burn me.
Oh yeah,
But
and,
it's
they could even burn me. I'm not gonna lie. Like there's a lot to
And-
learn.
There's in it. We completely respect the Star Wars saga. It is
Yeah.
such a it's iconic.
It's one of its own. Oh yeah, it's one of its
iconic.
own, man.
It's one of its own,
and that's what and without dabbling on it again, that's why I think it's so important for us fans to really appreciate what we have right now, because there's a lot of Star Wars fans throughout their whole life that were maybe our age in the 70s and 80s when these were first coming out that don't get to experience this constant content that we get for Star Wars.
exactly. It's probably gonna
They
be.
got the trilogy and then they're like, dude, the Star Wars. And, they'd get a toy line or whatever, blah blah blah. And then, oh yeah, it's 1999 and we're getting the Phantom Menace. It's like, what the shit? That was like
20 years ago.
exactly.
So like we're like you were saying, we need to appreciate it, and that's what I gotta do as a fan, because I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm not a fanboy like everyone that has time to go into it. I'm not saying I don't, but I mean, as of respecting this saga and the series of everything, I want to get better so I know what's going on.
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna start binge watching. Whenever I was, I think a few years ago, we would watch the Clone Wars, the animated series of those, but like I never really understood them because I really
when you're a
didn't,
kid watching it, it's different.
Yeah, and that's what I got to do now is, that's what I want to do now is binge watch them and review, and then kind of read the books again. Because whenever I was in elementary, I read the books, but when you're a kid, you're also kind of just like reading, but not consuming the information. Right. So like I'd be lost in page 2 because I'd just be reading words and that was it. But
yeah,
there's this like playing the part of knowing what's going on, I'm not going to do. But these movies are amazing, and the series are amazing. So basically what I was saying is, this is a time in the Jedi where it's not. This is after the fall of the Jedi. So Jedi as a physical force is not prevalent. It's gone. It's completely wiped out. They're gone. So the next most powerful weapon that they have is the Force and the knowledge of the Force. So like in the Obi-Wan series, remember he's really broken. Yeah, and
this takes place like, you got to remember, this only takes place like 10 years or so from this movie, from A New Hope. It's close. It's very close.
What's super crazy is you saying this, but like how crazy, like the Force, how strong the Force is, in the sense of like, you can understand how involved this person is with the Force. So like when Luke was, super young, they kind of just knew where he was at with the Force. You know what I mean? And they knew when he was getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And of course, we saw it as, as fans, we were like, holy shit, like he's almost elite, know?
Oh, yeah.
And, I do like whenever Obi-Wan passed, like when he died and he became the Force, does he kind of like never go back to Luke? I can't remember.
He does more in memory, but at the same time it's also through the Force, right? So it's our you'd say like our conscience, but it's through the Force. So the Force, I think a lot of people that aren't really educated in Star Wars, and maybe they are, but they don't really understand, is the Force isn't just the use of controlling air and movement. And the Force, that's the most important part of Star Wars in general. That's the grounded part of Star Wars. There's no Star Wars without the Force. So the Force is, its basic purpose is balance. So if you notice, right, if we want to just talk about the prequels, you have the Empire starting to take form, right? So at the time, the prophecy was that Anakin was a chosen one. Big thing, right? He was a chosen one, and he was supposed to bring balance, because at the time there was still a shift. They were in wars. So it still wasn't exactly balanced, but he was going to be the person that was going to bring them into that light,
right? His bloodline.
In a way, so not really. So he still was a chosen one. He still is. The prophecy was still true. So, and I'll explain. So, as far as, and I'll close this for now. So, as far as like I was explaining, the Force is all about balance. So you have the Sith at the time was Palpatine, right?
Yeah.
No apprentice. It was Palpatine. Okay, so if you were talking about the Force being shifted, it was shifting more towards the Sith, right? Then Anakin joins the Sith, right? That outlandishly just brings the Force into unbalance, into the side of darkness, right? So it's not balanced anymore. So the Force will always correct itself.
Yeah, I'm like, before, I know you're going on to something important. So, but this is for someone like me that has an idea about the Force, and the way you explained it, this is how I got it. So, the Force is it? So it's meant for balance,
Right.
right? So not too much bad, not too much good.
Right. It's go ahead.
Since like the Sith and everything, how do they have the Force if they're too much on the
So
Sith? The
so
bad
it's
side?
not that they can't have bad to it's not that it's that there's a balance of both. So they both exist, but they have to coexist in a balanced form. So there's the dark side of the Force is because the Force itself is something that you draw upon, right? So
Okay.
when you're drawing off the dark side of the Force, it's all based off emotion of anger, fear, sorrow. Those are the things that you're
Oh,
drawing the
okay.
Force from. So you're not balanced as far as the way that you're using it. So you're way too far onto the dark side of that. Now the normal side of the Force, right, is the other side where you don't let your emotions dictate how you use the Force. You're balanced. You're level minded.
Exactly.
You know, understand? So the Force itself is always going to correct what either the Sith or maybe even I guess you could even say, because if it happens with the Sith, I would assume that it would also happen with the Jedi too, right?
Well,
In other words, as far
Not-
as shifting balance of too far.
this is why I disagree, because the Jedi's aren't trying to like overpower anything, right? They're more like keeping peace in the galaxy.
Yes, and that was its primary function for a long time, but that wasn't always the case, which wasn't the Jedi's fault, but it was almost where politics kind of ruined that. So
Oh,
yes,
okay.
so if I were to explain in a basis timeline of when the Force would show basically that the Force would try to correct itself. When Anakin turned to the dark side, there's two high-powered individuals as the leaders of the Sith. Not really anybody at the time that could really bring that balance back, because the Jedi were basically ambushed, everybody's being killed, all that stuff. Well, what the Force did is it brought Padme to have two children.
Oh.
You see, to have that balance brought back. So Leia on the side is a political way to, to bring focus onto the empire of how it was ruling the galaxy. Then, of course, with Luke to basically get all the good from his father, and then also from his mother. So that's where it shows that the Force was really trying to offset what the people did, right? So going into your question about the Jedi, right? Always their basic purpose is to obtain peace, right? And to keep the peace.
Yeah.
That's their only pretty much their only purpose, right? If I look at this timeline here that we see across here. So if you see now what everybody knew prior to Star Wars Celebration 2023 was from the Old Republic to the rise of the First Order was the timeline. That's starting from, so how do I put this? If I were to put this in numerics,
Yeah.
the timeline, they call it BBY, or battle, or before the Battle of Yavin. So the Battle of Yavin is where Luke sends a torpedo in A New Hope.
Oh, yeah.
Or-
yeah.
No, I don't think it was A New Hope.
But he
it sends
sends
in
the
the torpedo,
yeah.
and it blows up the first Death Star, right?
Correct.
That's how they gauge time before or after to kind of gauge from there, right? That's like the
Oh,
that's the
like
singularity
center.
point, right? It's a singularity point,
It's
and then
the
they
nucleus.
exactly nucleus. Exactly. So with that, if I were to go back and look at this timeline, so let's not worry about this. I'll talk about that later, and I'll talk about this
Oh,
later.
I really want to get into
Oh,
that
dude, I'm
'cause
excited. Like I can't even tell you. So just quickly to run through it, right? Old Republic is almost like the fall of the Jedi. The Old Republic was basically a lot of wars happening between the Jedi and the Sith, just chaos, chaos, chaos. Now, the High Republic is peacetime, major peacetime. The Jedi at the time were at their highest point, the most powerful that we've ever seen the Jedi as a people, and even as a singular Jedi. You weren't seeing Jedi, even what we've seen in film as far as Anakin, Obi-Wan, like the top as far as Yoda, those type of Jedi, Mace Windu, they weren't really close to, as far as a power of a group of people, than the High Republic. The High Republic was it. Now, that was when they were
Oh,
under the order of themselves. In other words, the Jedi themselves, they didn't have to worry about jurisdiction from the Senate. The Senate forced the Jedi to basically perform whatever they needed to, do whatever they needed to under their rule, under
so
their
almost like a
jurisdiction.
military.
Kind of. It's almost like in Marvel. Remember in Civil War when the Avengers would go and go on their missions about the way they wanted to,
Yeah.
and then the Sokovian Accords were like, no. Listen, you guys have done enough. You need to be under our control, our command. We'll say when you can do this, and we'll command you to go here and
Isn't
here
it
and
weird
here.
how governments just get involved with all this shit.
So that is the fall of the Jedi. That's where they weakened themselves, and they also were surprised, and they weren't really focused on the Sith that were, coming up and coming out. Because I believe that's why it didn't happen under the High Republic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're really in tune with the Force, and they were really in tune on keeping Sith out of the galaxy. So that's what this is here. And then obviously we have the
Explain to me before I don't want to interrupt you going into that, but
yeah.
because we're kind of going way too fast in the sense of like what started the Old Republic? Like what form of series did we see that?
So the Old Republic, as of right now, is the only time that we've seen really in media the Old Republic is the video game. They basically herald it as the greatest Star Wars game of all time, is the
Is it the
KOTR,
one
Knights of the
back-
Old Republic.
Is it the one back there? On
No,
the
that's
right?
Battlefront.
Oh, that's Battlefront.
That's Battlefront, which is still up there for sure. This is Battlefront 2, actually. But Knights of the Old Republic
I don't
is a
remember.
it's wild. It's such a good game. I believe
So it wasn't.
Raven's
It
in
wasn't.
there.
It wasn't a
it's not
It's not a
a media
show
piece
or
that we
a-
haven't seen
or
yet.
a movie. It's a video game.
Right.
So
But
I wonder-
and then so what we see here, if you notice, is canon timeline. Okay, so the timeline. There's a difference between canon and legends. So legends is everything other than canon. So canon's your movies, your TV shows that we've seen, everything that basically George Lucas, you want to say Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, I guess, basically deemed to be canon in the main timeline. Then you have legends, which is everything a part of that, where you see your books, your video games like Force Unleashed, all that's legends.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so sometimes when, like right now, they're in the middle of expanding Star Wars as a collective timeline. They're gonna nitpick some from Legends and put it in canon, whatever they see fit.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like what I think would be super dope because we've had the timeline really hyper focused on Fall of the Jedi to Reign of the Empire, Age of we've got the center of the cake,
Right.
and we also have seen like a lot of the Sith taking over and then the Jedi's rising. I really want to see something where the High Republic has its own thing because maybe I'm not remembering because obviously I didn't realize there was two different Obi-Wans. But have we seen the High Republic yet? Like the actual?
Not really. Other than not in a very global form like film or TV.
Yeah,
You
so
haven't seen it
How
really.
badass would if they came out with a series that was just like the High Republic and you got to understand, and it might not be as juicy, but like I think the juiciest part is like the middle before the Fall of the Jedi.
Mhm.
So you got to still see the shift, but also understand how heavy it was on Jedi.
Right.
So and I want like backstories of the High Republic. So like we understand Yoda,
Mm-hmm.
but we never got like Yoda.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I like maybe it's lazy or maybe it's just because remember, to me, like Yoda, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan. Well, Obi-Wan kind of had more of his own thing, which was good, but like they kind of did some Yoda.
They were
but
like
not
side
really.
characters.
Yeah, they were like side characters. Whenever Yoda's like the ultimate Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean is like they need to do something, which they probably will, but like for what I know and what we know currently, there's nothing like that. So I think what would be super dope is if they got really into it, and not only did they get into it, but they would give every single character a backstory in respect of the Jedi. Because all we've gotten is the respect of the Sith.
So to answer that, you got to watch Tales of the Jedi. It does that really well. It does that for Count Dooku, and it does that for Ahsoka. But Ahsoka, it does it after
but Ahsoka
the events.
Yeah, but Ahsoka's like way over here in the timeline.
Ahsoka is at the fall of Jedi. So basically, Ahsoka is Clone Wars, the start of Clone Wars.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Right. It is, so what you see in Tales of the Jedi is right following Order 66 through the very start of the reign of the Empire. But with Count Dooku, dude, those episodes are my favorite. And Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters, which might be seen as crazy, but she's one of my favorite characters. But what you see with Count Dooku, you see I want to say that is the closest we get to the High Republic. I really could say that honestly.
Really?
Dude, it's crazy because Count Dooku at the time was a Jedi, was his apprentice was Qui-Gon. Yeah, so it's in this. I guess you could say this is like the first touch of the High Republic that we get.
And I think maybe I'm being greedy and needy, and I'm like,
no, you're not. You're not being greedy and needy. And the reason I want to say that is because they're starting to hint at us that they're doing things to show us a whole broad timeline of how things happen.
Crazy. Like Star Wars is so big. Like, look how much content they can make. In the sense of like, they've only touched on a little bit of this stuff.
Exactly.
And there's so much information that they can get into, so many backstories, which could be huge, which is already huge. But I mean like 10x. You know?
Oh, yeah. I think, so with Count Dooku's story, what you see is you basically see he's a master already, okay? And obviously it's showing how he was as a Jedi, but then it shows his slight change into the dark side. And you see what really topples that for him is when Qui-Gon gets killed by Darth Maul in Phantom Menace. And that's towards the end, and you see that shift.
Isn't revenge like a real big part of the Sith?
Oh, yeah. Because it feeds off anger.
Yeah, it's
and fear to lose somebody else, and that's what happened with Anakin, right? He lost. First of all, he lost his mom. Yeah, he lost his mom first. Remember, his mom was killed, and that fed into that darkness, right? And then his fear to lose Padme is what really drove him all the way across.
Yeah.
But a lot of the visions he was getting was basically being forced.
But that was because of
by Palpatine.
Yeah.
He was forcing those images into his head in his dreams.
I honestly thought that was what's his name? Well, he is the Sith.
Yeah, Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's what do they call him on the Sith side?
What do you mean?
The guy that wears the hoodie, electric.
Yeah, the Emperor.
The Emperor.
Yeah,
that's what they call him. The Emperor.
Yeah, the Emperor. Yeah.
Sorry.
No. You're good. So like, it's because they have different names for him as the time goes. 'Cause first he was the Chancellor.
Yeah, he was the Chancellor.
Or Chancellor Palpatine, then the Emperor, right from there. So, but he was Sith. Sith means you're evil. That's just
which is crazy how he kind of like changed form when he went from, Chancellor, and then you would see him, in the politics of the Jedi, and then another scene you would cut, and then you would see him
like
as the Emperor, and his fucking face was like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? It was deep, wrinkly, all like
you see real darkness in him.
And but whenever he's going back and forth and he's hiding, you don't see that. You know what I mean? Which I think they hid very well, but I wonder why.
What do you mean?
Like, I wonder why his face and his features changed when he.
Well, I don't think it was really his features too much. Really, it just appeared that way because we got to remember, like, it would really show that he was fully cloaked, hooded, and he was just like this dark figure that nobody knew.
Yeah.
That was the basis of it. Now, after he,
Maybe he was much older.
after he air fries himself with Mace Windu, that's when it really deformed his face. That was him full, like his, not only as spiritually but physically devoting that into darkness.
Why does he get a? And I think
thrown out of a window?
No.
Oh.
I think you've told me this before, but to remind me, why does he get electricity? Do you know?
So it's the Force itself is, and I don't know too much about this, but the way that they were kind of explaining it in, I don't remember if it was the sequel trilogy or something I read about, but so the Force is basically you're pushing atoms and you're forcing them out, right? So you're so in tune with what you want to do that you're creating an electrical current that you're making electricity go out. That's how I've always interpreted it.
So a Jedi can do it.
I wouldn't. It's not like, oh, any Jedi could just pop popcorn.
I know. I'm not saying
but
it's
like,
easy, but I mean, like, if it's possible for
if you're
the
really in
Emperor-
tune with the Force and you have that maybe.
I really wonder why the Emperor was able to do that.
I don't know. So here's the thing.
Maybe it was so much
maybe
rage?
You would think, right? So that's a good theory. But then you also have, and I think it is rage. I really think you're forcing rage out because, so if you notice in the original trilogy, that was his main
it was
source
his
of
main
power,
source-
right?
Yeah, it was his electric.
And he would do it through rage, right? Well, you see Rey do the same thing in Rise of Skywalker. She's trying to save Chewie there's like a transit that takes him right.
Yeah.
He gets arrested, and she's trying to pull it back, and she's doing everything that she can to pull it back, force pulling, and it gets to the point where she's just angry that this is happening, and she literally just draws electricity from her and explodes the damn transit.
I fucking forgot that.
Yeah, it was a wild, insane, dude. I think there's so many people that shit on the sequel. This is the
And
sequel trilogy.
and I'm one of them.
Well, here's the thing,
Because
bro. And a lot of it is because,
The timeline.
yeah, it's just because people in general,
Want
They-
the old nostalgic stuff.
there's that, but
Like
they
me.
also are like, it's not that. I maybe it's that
That's
some people.
what it is for me because I just love the nostalgia of Star Wars.
But I think
because-
it's world building. Like they don't. I think a lot of people don't understand. There's a lot of world building that happens in Star Wars, and they're so far ahead of the curve that fans are sometimes too ground level to see what they're doing. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, and I'm not saying that the sequel trilogy is top tier because it's not top tier, but with the new
they
shows
did not
and new.
disappoint. Especially whenever they brought
when you see new
Kylo
shows
Ren.
and movies come out, it's gonna just prop it up on a pedestal.
Yeah, and I think what it was is Kylo Ren, dude. Kylo Ren was a fucking menace.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was so sick. I think I appreciated it more on the second to the last movie or the last, like those two hand in hand, those last two movies.
I think him in the Force Awakens is wild too. That's when they fight in the snow.
yeah, that one's good.
That
But
one
like
is so
she was
good.
still kind of like developing as herself.
Yeah, but that's for Rey. I'm thinking more
For
for.
Rey.
I'm thinking more for Kylo. That was just nuts.
Maybe. But
Oh, but no, him in the Rise of Skywalker when he's fighting the Holocron. Dude, they do so
Whenever-
good. Like they do. It's not bad. Like all these people that it's this. They should have done. It's all. Everybody thinks it's bad because they didn't do what they wanted them to do.
exactly. And
It's
I,
I would have done this. Nobody gives a fuck about what you would have done.
you're not professional.
You're not there. You're not that guy, bro. Trust me.
Yeah.
You're not that guy. See.
Literally. And
But yeah.
I think what also like there's a few moments in the series and new movies that they do that the past didn't do, like the old sagas. Like whenever they brought out the Obi-Wan series and Darth Vader fucking pulls back the
That damn carrier,
dude,
bro.
I was like,
Dude, I don't even. You know how many times I had to clean this screen from when I busted? No, but it was like, dude, I watch it. I'm like, no fucking way, because you don't see how powerful he is
no,
at
you
all.
don't get to because he's on
It's
his
just
last
assumed by
part.
his presence, but you don't see like his full reign, like that. He's that guy.
And I think they could do so good on just a Darth Vader series in like what led him to be not only one of the most iconic but best Sith. Was he a lord, right? He was like the guy at one point.
Yeah, so
obviously-
Siths are in twos. They're in pairs.
Oh yeah, I see what
Siths
you're
are in
saying.
pairs.
Because
So
whenever
Palpatine's usually that guy.
yeah,
at the
and that's
top.
what I was saying is like the Emperor was the guy,
Yeah.
and then it was Darth Vader. It was kind of like, oh, Darth Vader's like the Emperor's so strong
Now, in
that Darth
my-
Vader's kind of like
And in my opinion, I think Darth Vader would have cleaned the Emperor. I really just have that. And I think it's because I really think the reason the Emperor had control of him was on an emotional standpoint.
yeah, and I think that's what. So that was what my is for not knowing too much, but what you have given me on information of like
Right.
the Force and everything, and how Anakin was as a person, and you get so far into the dark side, it makes sense that he's as powerful as he was, but he's a very emotional driven man.
Mhm.
So I feel like the Emperor had that edge on him because he knew he could mess with him mentally,
Mhm.
which would be his demise.
Right.
Because at the end of whenever when he's about to die, he dies because of Luke, right?
Yeah.
And because that's his son.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's having this emotional battle. And obviously the emotions took
Because
over.
he tells Luke, he tells him, it's too late for me, son. Like, even if I wanted to, it's too late for me.
It's such a sad part.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't understand it until you get it, and until you get it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because as a kid, I was like, I wasn't in tune with emotion yet.
Facts.
Quite, I
Yeah.
was like,
We just wanted to see Anakin and Obi-Wan meaninglessly
fight.
fight. Exactly.
And that was
Which, oh God. But anyway,
yeah, that fight scene was amazing, and it's
best of all time. Not even close.
but still, dude, I don't know. You know what the second close was? The Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fight whenever they brought the Obi-Wan.
I put that at I'd say I want to put that at 3, but it's good.
No, dude, that one was so good.
It was good.
And I mean,
But-
not only because obviously the different times in CGI and all of that stuff, but I mean, you got to understand how strong Obi-Wan was, and you also got to understand how badass Darth Vader was.
Oh yeah.
Because Darth Vader, you not only do you get the fight, but you get him walking in, just meaning like it was a cakewalk, bro. Just going through these guys that are trying to kill him.
Yeah.
And he's just pushing them to the side, throwing their, the lasers.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
dude,
He's
this
just
guy-
grabbing people and just breaking their neck as he's walking, just doing his
which
thing.
is crazy.
Oh yeah. He was something else.
He was something else in that series, and that's what I mean. Is if they get obviously they did his backstory amazing because
Yeah.
Anakin is not a type 2 player. He's almost player 1.
Uh-huh.
He's a main character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not a side character.
Well, that's why they dubbed the episodes 1 through 9 as the Skywalker saga. That's the Skywalker saga.
But it's not the Darth Vader saga, which we need. We need the Darth Vader.
I agree.
We need
And I'm gonna predict this out here. We'll see in the coming years if this is true. I believe they will make a Darth Vader series.
they have to.
I don't think they'll make it a movie. I think they'll make it a series.
They need to make it a series because he is such not only is he like how you were explaining how the Chancellor and then to the Emperor. Well, you got to see that transition almost, but not completely clear, but you understood. And then whenever they put out, what did you say? The new Jedi?
The Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi, that they went into more depth with them. They need to do the same thing, but for Darth Vader.
I think they need to do it for Darth Vader because it's like a big thing that they explain is Anakin's he's dead. He dies when he becomes Darth Vader. There's no more Anakin. Anakin's gone. That's why his Force ghost in Return of the Jedi is Anakin. The Hayden Christensen, not
Oh,
Right.
Oh, dude, that's so awesome.
Oh yeah, it
Because-
shows his young Hayden Christensen self, and it's crazy because that's how smart George Lucas is. George Lucas just told Hayden Christensen after they had filmed the Revenge of the Sith. He's like, I just need you to film this certain thing. He's like, what is it for? He's like, it's just something I'm gonna work on later. And he like filmed it. And he didn't tell him, and he put him in there as a Force Ghost, like when they did the special edition DVD and when they changed everything, they put him in there.
And I don't know. I might be completely wrong on assuming this, but was there a certain movie or a certain series that George Lucas wasn't like fully involved? Because I feel like I don't remember what movie, but I came out, or it was a movie or it was a series.
Through
It
Star
was
Wars.
probably a movie, yeah. And I was like, this isn't really George Lucas's work because, dude, he is.
That's the entire sequel trilogy. So the original trilogy is his, right? The sequel trilogy is his. Then he sold Lucasfilm to Disney.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's
So-
something different about it. There's not like this George Lucas
Yeah. Well,
thing. I don't know.
So The Force Awakens is almost like a revamped A New Hope. Like if you watch those back to back, they're almost like, as far as sequencing, as far as development and characters, they're like almost identical. It's crazy to watch. Like you watch, and that's why everybody loved it. It was just so good. And then the Last Jedi was so just mid. Like a lot of people didn't like. I have to rewatch it because, so that I don't know if you remember. Just to let you know, when the sequel trilogy came out, I would take him on his birthday because
Oh,
it
it's
always
always
came
on my
out
birthday.
mid-December. Every time, mid-December.
Every single time.
The Last Jedi, when it came out, you fell asleep. That was the one you fell asleep at.
God, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I was not only disappointed because first off, you already know what kind of fan I am now, so you understand that
He's in tune, but it's not like, yeah.
But I fell asleep and
He fell
because I
asleep.
was like, this is the
and the
worst.
craziest part is he fell asleep at 2 of them. So I believe you fell asleep on The Rise of Skywalker also.
Oh no, I fell asleep completely through on the first one.
Not
no,
on Force
no, no,
Awakens.
no,
It
no.
was Last
The
of the Jedi.
No, on the Force Awakens, I fell asleep mid movie, like in the middle of the movie. I
That was
fell
so
asleep.
dumb.
And
It was
you
such a
told
good
me, bro, it's so good. And I was like, bro, I do appreciate you taking me here, but I honestly fucking was not feeling it.
Yeah.
And it's not anyone's fault. It was my fault for being uneducated because you understood how important it was to bring back this, this series and saga from Star Wars.
Oh yeah, dude, we hadn't seen
And-
anything in freaking ever.
And I was just being naive, and I fell asleep on half of the towards the middle and half of the ending.
So did I take you to all 3? Or did I not take you to Last
You didn't
Jedi?
take me to the last one, but we
went to
together.
No,
But
we went to
together.
the last one.
No, we went together. The first 2 of the new ones, you actually were like, "Happy birthday." But then you were like, "This
Oh.
motherfucker doesn't care about these movies, so if
So
he
we
wants to come, he can come."
That is true. That's
Because-
exactly how it went.
Because
Because the first one I was like, all right, fine. The second one I was like, motherfucker.
and I'm not gonna lie, guys, the second one
The
was
second,
not my favorite.
no, I would agree. I would agree. The second one,
And-
the only thing I get out of the Last Jedi is Kylo Ren. Literally, he's like more.
And I only
Next
use
to get the monkey swinging.
the monkey
outside.
swinging. It is great because
No way. Yeah.
that was. But I mean, I need to rewatch them because
I might do that tonight.
this
I don't know.
what
I really want to.
George Lucas, Disneyland, Disney, dude, that was sweet. Okay, so we went to Disneyland, I think last year.
Yeah, it was October. It's for Halloween.
It was for Halloween, and we had not only the time of our lives, but we went to Star Wars.
Yeah, the Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge,
Yeah.
and holy shit, that was the funnest I have had in a long time
You
because
feel like you're in Star Wars, and I think
they
you
did
feel
so
it,
well.
You feel it more at nighttime more than anything.
Oh, 100%.
Like the daytime, yeah, you feel like but Star Wars to me, it's not. It's always like
the
dark.
galaxy.
Yeah, it's always dark. There's stars.
But they do so good at giving the light into the darkness.
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. So when we were there, it was always towards later in the day which was never planned because I think we planned to go earlier, but because we got so busy with everything else, we ended up going later, which was the best idea. Like
Oh, yeah.
it was not even planned. It was the best thing that we did. But going there,
I left my phone on the Millennium Falcon.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. You weren't there,
I wasn't there. I was,
but I left my phone on the Millennium Falcon.
dude. I hate when that happens.
Fucking hyperspace. You know how hard it is to make a hyperspace call?
Oh, I know.
It's not
No
like I could
service.
call because my phone was on the ship. I was fucking pissed.
But it
bro.
was near. It was probably one of the best things I've ever experienced. Not because the last time I went to Disneyland, they didn't. That wasn't there.
No, right.
And whenever we went, not only was like the drinks amazing, but like going in, what is that place called?
The cantina.
The Cantina. You had such a Star Wars vibe. The music.
Oh, dun, 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 dun. Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, this is sweet. And then the drinks,
the vibe of the
amazing.
people there,
The vibe
like,
of the people
dude.
that are working there. And not only that, but like the setting in Galaxy's Edge, like you said, it's just so different at night. But whenever like you're there, it's like you're in Star Wars. And it's like, this is the best thing that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, you feel you
and
you
it's like
don't feel
almost
like you're at,
nostalgic.
dude. You don't even feel like you're at Disneyland. You feel like you're in Star Wars. You feel like you're on a planet in Star Wars.
Exactly. You know, it's funny because you don't even know, you don't even think you're in Disneyland because you're like, whoa, the rocks, the everything that
Oh,
they did.
everything. It's all set to where you're just engulfed with Star Wars.
And it was so awesome. It was
Oh,
super
yeah.
awesome. And it, in a way, it was nostalgic because the music. And also like growing up as a kid, I was like, dude, this is like, I loved like the vibe of Star Wars always. And like you not only did you have the setting, but you would have clone troopers. Oh my God, we have the funniest thing. And hopefully we could plug it in.
Why?
And maybe it's not enough because you had to also be there. So
it was a major you had to be there moment for
so,
sure.
you know, Kylo Ren walks in, and I think out of everyone we saw, because we saw not only clone troopers, we saw Kylo Ren, but who else did we see? We saw
We saw Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
Dude,
Who else did we see? Who
Din
was the other
Djarin
guy?
was there
Din-
like barely, dude.
Yes, it was like a month after we left.
I was so pissed. I was like, fuck,
And don't get me wrong, that would have been super awesome to see, but I think the ultimate vibe check,
was the Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren,
Dude.
and because he walks in, whoever does Kylo Ren in Disneyland, shout out to you. You're the best guy ever because you are the probably
you embody Kylo Ren.
You embody him 100%. Like you take it serious. So do the clones, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the real deal because
Those stormtroopers are crazy. It was so we were, and I'm not going to tell the story. You're going to tell it because I think it's important that you tell the story. But I just have to tell you the setting that we were at because at the time, remember, it was just us three. It's me, you, and Delilah,
Yes.
right? So everybody else, Steven and Randall were in the bathroom, and
Dude,
LJ,
I don't know what they were
and
doing.
Omar.
they're tugging each other or something. They were gone for a long time.
So basically, LJ and Omar and Ikaika were building the droid with LJ.
That was super dope.
And you could say Randall and Steven were building the lightsaber. Honestly, they were in the bathroom. So it's just us three, and we were waiting for our ticket to go through for the cantina.
cantina.
Because you got to reserve your spot, and then it lets you in.
It's-
We were just
it's-
waiting there.
Which is not bad. And I'm not, because everywhere else in Disneyland that we had to wait kind of was a drag almost. And I don't know if you felt the same, but to me, it felt like a drag everywhere else. But in the Galaxy's Edge, and I always want to call it Star Wars Land because holy shit, you feel like you're in Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even feel like I was in Disneyland. That's how separated I felt from it. But, you know, waiting that long, it was okay because you got not only the shops, but like you had characters walking left and right. And I don't know if I'm the only one, but when you're walking through Disneyland, it's rare to see Mickey Mouse. It's rare.
Yeah,
to
you see a
Minnie
bunch of
Mouse.
people, and then you see a character every once in a while.
And
So tell them what happened.
so when we're waiting, right? No, this is after.
No, it was before we walked in.
This is before we walked in. So I'm waiting in line. Delilah's with me. Luis is also with us. We're all waiting. It's just us three in line. and we don't really like see like because we're facing the direction towards the cantina and they're coming from behind us. The two clones and Kylo Ren they obviously vibe check 100% because the whole like general area of where we were at, everyone was like, whoa.
They
whoa.
turn and it was like an entire like mood change. Like everybody just
It
turned
was
like,
so
oh
serious.
shit.
It was so serious.
Everybody felt like just standing there in shock, like what the hell is happening right now?
And Luis is in the middle of their
It was
walkway.
all three of us.
And yeah, but it was all three of us.
Yeah.
It was in the middle.
Because you were trying to videotape him.
Yeah, I was trying to videotape him because I was like,
Worst cinematographer of all time. That's all I have to
I'm
say.
100% the worst because
Okay, just go.
not only do we get to the point where they're right behind Luis and us, so me and Delilah move out of the way. Luis kind of like is like, I'm gonna stand right here.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I go to Disneyland. I try to go every year, and if to amplify your experience, you have to also be in character yourself, right?
Yes.
And
And
I didn't want to just be I move out of the way and they walk off. Like I wanted to make my experience just
and he
explode.
did. And I, like he was saying, I am the worst at capturing the moment. So I'm trying to videotape, and I get it, right? I get a solid 3 seconds, perfect, like the in frame. They're like, move.
Yeah, because they're like, step aside. Like they have their guns. I'll step aside, move, get out of the way. Talking like down to everybody, right?
Yes.
So Delilah and Gilbert kind of move, and I just stand there. He's like, step aside with his gun. Step aside. So I start to move right afterward, and he's like, keep it moving. And I'm already against the wall of the cantina. I
Yeah,
can't
he's
move
already against
anymore.
it. And then he,
So the stormtrooper's being a jackass on purpose. Like it's part of his character.
yeah, it's part of his character because you're walking with Kylo Ren. The guy's probably the most powerful person in the galaxy during that moment, and Luis is like, he's acting like a default character after he stands in their way, and this guy's requesting him to move, and he's not moving, and this guy's persistent, the clone, and then finally Luis decides to move. He's against the wall, and the clone's like, keep moving, and Luis decides to go default, and he's acting like a GTA character walking into the wall continuously, and then the clone's like, oh wait, my bad. What does he say?
No. So don't you remember? I even jumped. So like in GTA,
Yes.
when you jump and your like legs like go like that, I even did that. I'm facing the wall and I even jump and I'm like trying to move forward like I'm an NPC.
Literally.
He's all right, calm down.
Yeah, he's like, calm down. It was probably and we're explaining it here, and it's not, you don't understand. I'm gonna try to send it to Luis here so we can, in the pod, we can at least add it in there so you can have a general experience, like just
Let's just
from
say following the event itself, we go, oh my god, did you get that? Yeah, and we watch it, and it was like Helen Keller filmed it.
it was bad.
It was so
I'm gonna
funny.
tell you right now, guys. I was using Snapchat, and
Is that what you're using?
I was using Snap. So what happens is, you know how it works. When you use Snapchat, you press the circle, and if you accidentally scroll up, it zooms in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I accidentally did. I was holding it, and because you were going further away, and I had to bring my phone in, my thumb naturally scrolled up.
It's because I'm
So-
not used to using Snapchat as like to film.
And I only was using Snapchat because I had a brief, great frame of a moment, and I was like, this is it. And I had it, and then they're in front of us. So
They're
like,
right up on us.
They're telling us to move, and I'm already against the wall, and then there's the wall, and there's Louise acting like an NPC, and I'm capturing this moment, and I have it zoomed in to where you can only see them, and Louise, like his backpack doing that, and it's so funny because they're like, settle down.
Like, all right, settle down.
I don't think they understand. Like, I don't think they expected that,
No, they didn't.
and it was so good. Yeah, totally like that, and it sucks that Randall and Steven
They all
and
missed that.
LJ and Omar missed that because it was
The entire
so funny. It was so funny because it's kind of
they
like
had a presence that was like
yeah,
insane.
and I don't know about you guys. I didn't have that much respect for Kylo Ren. And I say this because when you watch the Star Wars saga as a kid, your main characters of like who carry the power in each direction for the Sith, it was the Emperor and Darth Vader.
And even Maul.
And even Darth Maul. And it was whenever they added Kylo Ren, I didn't really understand it, and Luis really educated me. And thank God I had that like respect for the saga whenever the series were coming out, because last year, not before we went, we had Obi-Wan, we had a lot of different, The Mandalorian, of course. Did we have a movie within the past 2 years?
No, we just had Boba Fett. We had
And it was Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And it was so awesome because
Well,
I respected it more, and I think I rewatched the last two, and I understood Kylo Ren as the character, as how powerful he is. Dude, whenever we were at Disneyland, to this day, this guy, Kylo Ren, I think even if I'm there and Mando's there, you know, I think he's still like Kylo Ren is still that guy. Like
Yeah.
I
It
can't,
was badass.
I can't just explain and describe what I was feeling, because I'm gonna tell you guys right now, you have to be there to experience it, and I hope you guys all have a chance to. But he and the clones are the best triplets, like because you know, duo, quads, whatever, trio. That's the best trio in Disney. 100%.
It's crazy.
100%.
Especially when you experience that, and then oh my God, what was I think what encompassed the whole experience is that happened with Kylo. We drank at the cantina, and then we did Rise of Resistance.
Holy
Dude,
shit,
that
the
ride
best
was
ride.
god tier.
Oh no,
to get captured by the Empire, or
It's
the
a
First Order.
full experience. Disneyland did probably the most remarkable thing you can ever do in experiencing a moment. So
You know that ride's the 18 minutes.
that is, first off, not only did I pay about $1,000 a ticket, but I had to spend extra on a ride. I was pissed about every other ride that I had to pay for. That $25
I would
extra
pay for
ticket,
it 10
I would
times.
pay it for it 10 more times, and I'm okay with it, because that 18 minutes was so good. Not only do you walk in, so you walk into a ship that is not I like, because of everything else, I underestimated it, like, to this day, because I'm like, you know, whenever I first walked into the ship that you first walk into,
It reminded me of Star Tours.
I was like, dude, this is awesome. I was like, dude, this is, yeah, it reminded me of Star Tours. But don't get me wrong, it was like the quality of like the way it was built and everything was so badass.
the aesthetic was great.
The aesthetic was great. Thank you. And I was like, dude, this is super dope. I was like, we're going to experience this whole thing and we're moving around. And I thought that was it. Then we get captured and they pull us in and you get to see it. Like, they have the windows everywhere, and whoever's gone, they understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But then you get pulled in and then the doors open.
Dude,
and you walk out and you see about 100 plus stormtroopers lined up, and you're inside that fucking
you're in like a Star Cruiser.
Star Cruiser.
When you're first you're on a public transport and you're just going from place to place, but then a dogfight breaks out and the Star Cruiser literally pulls an attractor beam. That's Jordan. Pulls an attractor beam your entire ship, and you see it through the windows. The windows are screens, but you know they do a really good job of making it feel like you're there. They pull you in to the Star Cruiser, and you get out, and you realize that you're captured by the First Order.
By the First Order.
And you look, and it's surreal. Like, it's crazy. You just look.
It's humongous.
You open the doors, and you look, and you just see a ship there. You see like a TIE, or I think an X-wing. I don't remember. You see a ship.
It's a TIE fighter.
It's a TIE, yeah. You see a TIE fighter there, and then you see their stormtroopers all lined up there, and then you look past, and there's the bay where all the ships come in, and it's massive. Like you look and you're like, what?
It is.
It's like larger than IKEA. You're like, what the fuck
It's
is this?
so big.
And then you see space, and you see like a ship floating, and you're like, what?
But then also, not only that, you see the TIE fighter there, but then you look up. They do so good. I don't know how they embodied that whole setting, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it made me feel like tiny.
Yeah, you feel
because-
an ant.
Because when you see the TIE fighter, you see the stormtroopers, you see how small they are compared and how large they are compared to you, because you're like, okay, we're about normal height here. Then you look, of course, at the huge ass entry where you see space. That's enormous. Like you said, it's like looking into an IKEA and you're like, holy shit, this is extremely massive.
Yeah.
And it's bigger than IKEA, 100%. And then you look to the right, a little higher. Then you see like 5 to 6 different TIE fighters hanging up, ready to be.
And they're like
fucking
1-to-1
launched.
size, and you're
Oh.
like looking there, like, what the shit?
How long was that walk?
Dude?
It's a long walk.
Yes, it's what trips me out too is that it wasn't just a ride you go on. Like every detail on that ride gives you that experience. How clean was the floor? It was glass. Everything was like glass, like clean, like
Yeah, exactly. You cannot.
like it was like gloss black, like real Imperial
Yes.
setting. It was gloss black.
You can
Everything
see your
was
reflection from the ground because
very
it-
minimalistic, but like
like
Empire
Empire,
vibe.
100%. And then not only that, so you're walking through these halls, right? You're walking through the halls, and how crazy is like, it's like experiencing Star Wars IRL.
Oh yeah.
And then
How was it when the
commander's all,
yeah with
remember
LJ
your-
Rowe?
yeah, he's all, what did he say to him?
So when
You
you
really
get
had
so
to
you're
look
like
down to see your color. Does he say
that was the funniest shit. I think I have that on film. I think I do. I'll check. Either my brother does or I do. I'll have to
do.
check. And
I have the whole thing.
it's so damn funny
And that
because
time I actually got it very well because I was like,
he learned from his mistake.
I learned from my past mistake, and I was like, I have to capture this whole thing because, you know, you never know when you can never experience stuff again. You
Yeah,
know? So
exactly.
you got to always experience the presence and be present. I had to be present there. That was something that I'll never forget. If I don't go to Disneyland again, I still remember it, but I'm going to go probably.
Next couple years or
Yeah.
so.
No, but I mean, like, I want to go religiously if I can. But
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's such an experience. And then, like you were saying, what did he say?
So
Because they have
so
they
it's
have
basically
actors. They
yes,
have
and
actors.
they're Imperial officers. So they're basically telling you you're captured by the First Order, and
they do
you're
so
going to
well.
be divided into these different segments, right? And he's basically like a military like drill sergeant.
Yeah.
And he's telling everybody like you're gonna be brown, orange, blue, green, yellow, black. These go to your colors. This is your color. This is where you're at. This is where you're at, and you're gonna do this, and he's like drilling this into you. And then LJ looks down. His brother-in-law. He looks down and he's like, "You really have to look at your color." Like he's shitting on him, but not like in a funny way. Like you're an imbecile way.
As like, you literally are at Dick's restaurant, but on a ride.
Literally.
But it was like,
but in a
but
Disney
in-
way, to where it wasn't
no,
like
but it was also like, they did it perfect because he was a sergeant. So he
Yeah.
was
embodying that role.
giving you orders, and not only that, but he's gonna keep his performance. He needs to be an actual actor because
Oh, it
he
was
so
crazy.
good. Because everyone's like, you know, we're all having fun. We're like, oh shit, we're here. But he like made you
Yeah,
feel
everyone's
like it was
laughing
a
and enjoying their
serious
time and
moment.
taking it all in, and he's like, "I'm an Imperial officer under Kylo Ren and the First Order." It's like,
Oh, it's so good.
and then from there, you go from that part of the ride to the actual ride itself, where you start to, oh, dude, you get put in those carriers, and they take you to Kylo Ren. How crazy is that?
No,
and the
I
way he
think
talks.
I think
No, you get taken to him first.
Yes,
and
no,
then
but
from
how-
there they
no. Remember, he walks through. Remember, we get put in the room.
Oh, you get put in the room
we
first.
get put in the room, and then
Yes,
you
you're
see
right.
Kylo. You hear
He
Kylo
walks on
Ren.
top.
Guys, they have like the best speakers in the goddamn world
It's
because
so
holy shit, it sounded like he was walking on
He
steel.
like walks up there and then he like talks to you.
And not only that, like the light,
you know what we can do?
and the shadow.
Why don't we just pull up the damn video?
Let's do it. Because holy shit, I want you guys to.
It's
If you haven't gone, and if you have, then I'm pretty sure you won't be upset about watching this because how incredible that ride is. I would pay so much money to go on that thing continuously, bro.
I want to go to the one in Disney World. They're the same, but I've heard a lot of people say that just the Disney World experience is something else. Dude, the freaking ads, bro. The ads. I'm gonna buzz, bro.
Dude, they were so huge.
This guy's 8 million views.
What if you could do SEO smarter and faster? With
They spelled
Wix,
sex
you can
wrong.
edit your meta tags. Hey,
Oh.
Death 3, you are clear for launch. Squads, we're rolling up.
I think we should turn it down a little bit. So, like, this is way more commercial than what it feels like. Oh, they go straight to the
Oh, they go straight to the ride
to
itself.
the ride itself. Well, I don't think they're gonna look it. Go to the Star Wars rides. That one. That one.
25 minutes. I think this is it. The complete experience in 4K. Oh, sorry. It's a 4K that got me that. Now, on purpose, it's going to be a little loud for us, but it'll show up better for the film.
So, what you guys are seeing here, it's a daytime. We were there nighttime. So, I think it even enhanced the feeling
Oh, my God, for sure.
because this is very, like...
What's that fan doing? They're outside. That's all I have to say. I'm glad they show you that you have to wait in line.
But we never waited for this ride.
We didn't wait.
We never. It was just like go, which that's what we paid for. But like, it's worth the wait. It's worth the wait.
Oh, this is where you see what's his name.
Cool.
You see the pirate raider in here. Or it might be in here.
They do so good.
BB-8. Look how he rolls around. Like, it's so fluid.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, this is where you see Ray.
Commander 9-9, please report back to ITS cockpit.
We didn't see this, did we?
Yes.
We
Remember
did?
though? Yeah, this is before we go to the ship. This is our entrance
Oh,
into
yeah,
the
yeah,
ship.
yeah. Okay, yeah. I remember now. The only reason I was having a hard time remembering is because the ride is fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
I like how I'm saying the most F-bombs this episode.
I'm trying to control myself.
We usually do a F-bomb count, guys, so that's how I know.
I think I'm ahead by like 30.
Oh, yeah. If we're counting previous episodes,
Oh, yeah.
100%. You own the moment. Oh, yeah. Yes.
I like how they do that holographic projection. That's crazy.
Recruits, thank you for joining the cause. A covert resistance team led by my friend Finn has infiltrated a First Order Star Destroyer that is now headed to this system. Your outpost on Batu is no longer safe. We have
Okay, fast forward it. Fast forward it.
to General
I know you want to watch this whole thing,
Yeah, so
but it's pretty long. It's pretty
So-
damn long.
I like how amazing Disney is and the fact that they even get the people that act in the movies to actually act on the ride.
Well, yeah. It comes with the
some days.
Yeah, your contract.
character. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your contract, when you sign your contract, it also
can be
includes
in
rides
memory.
and stuff.
Does it?
Mhm.
Well, I'm guessing. So I thought
It's
it'd
a
be
Disney thing.
bonuses.
It all starts
No, they got to
with
go in and record new lines and stuff. It's part of their original contract.
I do that every episode. Smack it every single time. So
It's a
this is
trap.
so this is what I was talking about. Like, we get on this ship first, which is the civilian pod, right?
Yeah, and it's a trap.
Give us clear so we can make the jump.
It's a trap. I love that meme.
But look at the quality, bro.
Those TIE fighters coming
Dude, the animatronics are crazy.
one end
how awesome! Like you see how like who he's talking to on the left.
And that's Oscar Isaac, who plays Moon Knight.
Oh yeah, isn't that the guy that he's also obviously in the series?
Yeah, he's in.
He's in the First Order. He's like in those movies.
Yeah. He's in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, he's
He's like the Han Solo.
Yeah.
guy.
Order, resistance scum. Now bring down your shields and prepare to be boarded.
Little Twiggy out there. They'll want the location of our secret base. Tell them nothing. The future of the resistance is at
LJ
stake.
was about to tell him everything.
I know.
I have a bad feeling
Don't
about
scream at me.
Stand back from those doors.
God.
So you walk out of this pod, right? And this is what we were talking about with the stormtroopers. Holy shit.
Like you. What is this happening right now? And even on film, it doesn't like give you that
Like,
aesthetic.
no.
Like you, but still, they're all just standing there. Look at all the ties. The other start. Look at the freaking shit, bro.
Dude, it was amazing.
I think it's hilarious that you're like, there's 100 of them, and you look and there's like 30.
I know. I'm like, huh.
It feels like it though when you're there. It really
Oh,
does.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. You think they smile under the helmet?
No.
You don't think they cheese it up?
No. I think they fucking hate their job standing there. My knees hurt.
Don't cry, makes my knees hurt.
I'm tired, Grandpa.
Well, that's too damn bad. I'm tired of this crap. Look at that shit, bro.
That thing's sick. And I was like, there's like 5 or 6 of them.
There's one. And they flew away in
Let's
this
tell
part.
you guys right
they
now.
they were hanging when we were there. Now they're flying doing patrol. It's not.
Yeah, we're not lying here. I guess that's just how amazing that was. And then, oh, dude, it was so good.
God, we didn't have to wait like that though.
Yeah, we walked through those damn halls.
This is the part I'm talking about.
Pause it. That sucks. Imagine
With the
going in
masks.
COVID and then you got this
I did it.
fucking guy.
That's how I went. It was like that.
Doesn't
the first
that
time.
suck? Like compared to what you experienced with us?
Oh, it was way better without. No, so a cool experience that I had. So this guy that is going to perform surgery here, I didn't have that. I didn't have face shield people. This guy just decided to wear a face shield. But we had to still wear masks, right? The first time. So remember, I have my scar tissue in my lung, so the doctor really doesn't want me wearing one, right? So I had it off, and I'm walking in there, and the officer tells me, under the first order, you have to put on your mask, right? But he's being super cool because those are the rules.
Yeah.
When you're on an outdoor space at the time, when you're like walking through the
Luis
park, you didn't need it.
doesn't follow the rules. He's a rebel.
Oh, bro, exactly. But when you're outside, you don't have to wear it. But when you're inside, you do have to wear it. So once we got in there, he was like, but he didn't say like,
Luis wasn't.
hey, you
pussy.
need to
He
wear on
decided.
you need to put on your mask. He was like,
under the
first order. Why are you breaking the rules? Like he was like going like at me, right?
He
And
was
I went back at
hammering
him
you.
again, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, my doctor.
Did you really do that?
See in that voice? No.
Oh, okay. I was like, you're playing the part.
I was all, no, I hablo English. Oh, no, I didn't do that either. No, I just told him, I was like,
It's a real.
I just told him like, normally I was like, oh, I have a medical exemption or whatever. He's all, you think Kylo Ren cares about a medical exemption? Put that on. I was like, oh, la mag. And it was awesome. I loved it. He was really cool about it.
I'm gonna tell you right now. That shit would suck to experience. Not because it was just because you could feel it in the world.
Yeah.
When you see a mask on and everyone's wearing it, you kind of feel it in the world.
Like,
And
fuck,
it's not.
Kylo has COVID.
It's not. It's not. How can I explain it? It's not.
It just ruins the moment.
It's not like I'm against the mask thing. If you want to wear a mask, you guys do it. But like, whenever you're experiencing this, it's like you're feeling the real reality in this
Oh, yeah.
animation you're living right now.
Snap out your meager resistance. You chose the wrong side, and now you will pay.
So this guy, right?
Yeah.
His character in the sequel trilogy. You remember in the second to last episode of The Mandalorian, you see the Shadow Council,
Yes.
and you see the guy with his hat and his mustache and beard. I think it's him. He's right under Thrawn, right? The guy opposite from him is the actor's brother, and he plays his dad. So this is this officer's dad in The Mandalorian.
Oh wow,
Yeah, so it's really tying in the sequel trilogy with The Mandalorian.
that is awesome.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
I
crazy.
love
So they
how
brought in his
thorough-
brother.
They're so good when they're thorough with that.
Oh,
That's my
yeah.
favorite.
The resistance prisoners
Dude, look at that.
You have what I want.
That was so sick.
The location of the secret base.
Guys, you have to experience this. Like this video,
Like you feel like, whoa, oh, dude, it's the bass in there. It's
that's what I said. They have the best sound system to ever exist.
and they have some chick.
Okay, come on in.
Oh, that part was sick, actual. So it's like they're cutting through.
The prisoners here.
This, like this, I don't know if it's stale, but
Yeah,
it's
I
like-
mean, I would assume
yeah, we would assume, but
they're
they're
on a Star Destroyer. Honestly, like they're cutting through it.
which that light angle that they got was not the best, but
I didn't know surgeons worked at the freaking Empire, bro. The First Order.
they use their surgeon tools to cut.
You're
through.
interrupting my heart surgery. Get your ass on there.
See, bro, they throw the guy with the hog in this freaking video.
The Rizzler, bro.
New Smart Water.
The
Is that
actual-
Aiden Ross, bro?
The actual
Keep it
Rizzler.
smart with Smart Water Alkaline.
Is his dick the size of that water bottle?
That's why I use that
Smart
commercial.
water bottle.
Imagine on one of the takes he accidentally took out his. Oh, okay, we're back.
Dude, this was sweet, bro.
Oh, with the art, with the. Those are sick.
Don't smack him.
Motherfucker. Imagine you just zap the shit out of him.
Bro, what if that's where AI began right there?
That moment,
It's all I'm gonna fucking find
he
it.
just embodies that TikTok video. You motherfucker.
Give me that gabagoo. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. That's probably the only moment in this ride that you feel like
You're in a ride.
in a ride. Yeah.
This is when they sit you down.
Tell them it's a prisoner transfer.
And I'm telling you right now, like what you're seeing on camera is not what you're going to experience in
No.
real life, because obviously you're looking at someone else's point of view. You're going to probably be looking in another direction. It is a whole experience. So take this as a grain of salt. It's an amazing ride, and I'm pretty sure you guys are like, holy crap, like this is amazing quality, because look at this shit. You're going in like 6 different rooms. Then you see the stormtroopers. Look at what they do to the ceiling. That was sick.
That was sick. Oh,
Like-
it gets better. Watch. Dude, those are freaking huge.
Huge. Like, this is just not even like, you're not even understanding how huge these things are in real life.
Like, this guy is filming like he's never been on this ride before.
Yeah. This is awesome.
This is my favorite part. Yeah. That part's sick, dude.
Dude, the way that they got like the lasers going through the walls.
Down to the escape pods.
The resistance will attempt to rescue the prisoners.
His voice is so
Dude,
fire,
it's
dude.
so good.
You underestimate their conviction. Raise the shields.
Shields. I see no evidence.
Now.
The prisoners have escaped.
How brave. But ultimately hopeless. There's nowhere to run.
I like how he pushes you with the force. It's so
Dude,
crazy.
oh my gosh.
He better get this. I'm gonna be so pissed if he doesn't. That part is so fire, dude.
Why is that so good?
It's so sick.
Like it looked like a lightsaber going.
Like literally like his lightsaber goes through the freaking ceiling. Look how crazy that looks.
It's so good. I'll never forget
it
when
interrupts.
Delilah. I'll never forget when Delilah freaked the hell out whenever it dropped. Oh, this is the force part.
You will tell me the location of the secret base, and then I will destroy you and the resistance.
I'll say the animatronics there could have been a lot better, but
Yeah.
it's pretty legit.
Dude, this part, huh?
This is a.
This part was fire.
This was so good. My wife was like,
It's so funny because you barely realize what's about to happen.
yeah, but she kept screaming this entire time. Just keep in mind, she is still screaming. Okay? She's still screaming.
Well, yeah, because we're about to hit the floor.
Still screaming. I said, babe, we're not falling anymore. And then she opens her eyes right now. Like, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life or experienced.
Oh, shit.
So this ride, guys, like we're trying to say, is near perfect.
Oh, yeah, it was near perfect for sure. For sure.
It is.
So, okay, so that's enough for Disneyland. The next thing I wanted to go over was what we haven't seen in this timeline yet, right? So basically, like I said,
yeah. We're going back to this.
yeah,
the
we're going
ti- the
back. To, we're
canon
going back to
timeline.
what we saw in Star Wars Celebration, or at least
was
what
like,
I saw, right?
Hold on, I'm not done here. Yeah, I know what you mean. I
So,
get it. I understand.
so prior to, it was really cool the way that they did it too. It shows it when they showed the presentation there at Star Wars Celebration, like it was just showing the Old Republic to the Rise of the First Order, and then they were explaining their next films. They're like, so they go, one of the next film that we're going to work on is we've shown you the Jedi at their height, we've shown them the fall, and we've shown Rey coming back and stuff like that, and
But we've
and-
never seen the dawn. Of
yeah,
the
but
Jedi.
we've never seen and he just shows up like that, and it's showing basically the first time, the first of the Jedi. So they're going to be making a movie like 25,000 years prior to these occurrences here to start the
From-
Jedi.
I didn't see. Can we watch that? Because I didn't see that. So I don't understand. So obviously we went over what the Force is and how it's balanced.
Mm-hmm.
How do you become a Jedi? Is that what they go through? Is this what they?
This is the dawn, how it started, how everything as a Jedi started. So there's nothing to
that's
look
sick.
at. This is what they're doing.
This is sick.
And then they go, and then we're going to start on both spectrums. They're like, we're going to show you this. Because this is, I feel like in Star Wars right now.
Is that the beginning? Is that like, or is this? Because remember, when we saw this timeline, it was just those middle
Yeah.
three.
This is literally the beginning.
Is that the beginning? It doesn't go any further.
As of right now, no.
I mean, like, I wonder if they'll go any further.
like this way?
Yeah.
No. I don't
Okay,
think so.
okay. Well, I don't
There's
know.
so much here that they need to focus on.
Yeah, but I'm not saying I need more, but I mean, like, is that the true beginning?
we'll see when they come out with it. We don't know yet. So it was just a presentation on showing what they're going to be working on. We don't have any trailer. We don't have any direction. It's basically, it was like a expo, right?
Okay.
Showing what they're going to be working on. So, and then they're like, and then we're going to go to the other side of the timeline, 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker, where Rey is bringing up the Jedi Order once again. She restarts it all.
The new Jedi Order.
Yeah.
That
so
is
Rey
sick.
they brought her out. It was crazy. It was like, what the fuck? They're going to bring her out. It was nuts. It was crazy.
So she was there.
Yeah, she
was
showed
there.
up. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she showed up. And then,
Can you imagine being in Japan?
dude, in 2 years, bro. It's in 2 years. It was
Can
in
you
London.
imagine?
It comes out a month after they leave. My sister and my brother-in-law.
Really?
Like, yeah, they might stay for it. Jerome
that
like
would be
freaked out
sweet.
because he's a big Star Wars guy too.
Is he?
Oh yeah, dude, he's a big Star Wars guy. So that's what they've told us. That's pretty much where we're at with the timeline. Basically, the next movies that are coming out, the ones that are going to be coming out in the next couple years, are our movie with Rey about starting a new Jedi Order, and then the Dawn of the Jedi, basically the start of it, 25,000 years ago. Okay. Now, there's more shows and films on the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have right now, we just finished Mandalorian, then we're going on to Ahsoka, right?
Dude, that's gonna be so good.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be Ahsoka good.
So good.
See,
So Luis was like, obviously he's a big fan of Ahsoka, but like, I never understood Ahsoka until like, obviously, getting educated with this guy, and dude, her trailer. Can we play it? That is the sickest trailer. We've already
like
played
it.
it before.
Yeah.
But like, that trailer is sick because I didn't understand why she has white lightsabers. So whoa. I kind of want to go into why lightsabers
in
are
this
red.
in this corner. I'll link a video of the trailer for you guys on this corner. You'll see it when I'm talking about it right now.
Yeah, and then also my question is, how do kyber crystals bleed? Why do they bleed? Can we get like I don't understand it. I understand it, but I also don't. Like, why are they so heavily involved with the Force? And like, why is there a white lightsaber, a black? Well, the black saber is the one
That's
that
Legends right now.
Mandalorians-
That's not really
because I guess you're right because I only know of the different colors is because of
the game.
The game.
Yeah.
That game was sick as hell
Oh yeah.
because I don't know if you got to choose your path, but you were.
Yeah, a little bit. You got to choose if you wanted to kill Darth Vader or if you wanted to side with him or whatever, and then
And I wanted to kill Darth Vader
yeah,
because I was his apprentice, right? Isn't that what that was
Yeah.
all about? And I mean, guys, I played this game back in 2012.
sooner. Yeah, maybe 12, 11 or 12. 12, probably.
So
I think that's fair
I'm
to say.
13 years old and I'm playing this game. So I have no sense of like, direction. I'm just like, oh, I want this. I want this. I want this. I wanted the black crystal so bad. I've never been the thorough game player in a free roam game. That's like free roam, right?
Ask Zeki. It's story driven.
It's story driven, but I mean, like you can
there's side quests. I think that's in any campaign driven
But
game. There's
that side quest. I was just continuously looking for the dark saber
Oh yeah.
because I was like, dude, excuse me, guys, that dark saber's sick as hell.
Oh yeah.
We need coffee. That's what it is.
That is what it is. That's
We
literally what it is.
need coffee. We not only did so. Luis was super. This is a side into this because I hate yawning, especially on the mic, because I'm having a good time right now.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I mean, we are drained.
Yeah.
Luis had been up probably from early as hell in the morning and didn't get out till about an average 6 o'clock in the afternoon. But I mean, continuing like we don't even get, and we don't work in the same thing. We just, our jobs are super busy.
Yeah, they're demanding it.
And they're demanding, yeah. And you don't really get a lunch break, not a 15-minute break. There's none of that's really for mine either. And after work, Luis came here and he stayed busy, obviously.
I was
to get
actually so
ready-
tired that I was laying down and I'm like, I can't lay down. I'm gonna be asleep.
Fall asleep, yeah.
So I was like, I'll just keep myself busy, and I was doing side quests myself.
And
so.
I was, you literally were. And I was putting on fenders on my car, which I already do a labor job. So it's like doing more labor. And I was like, dude, I'm so tired. It's like some coffee would be kill. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this water will do. He was like, gum. Because we didn't want to like.
We didn't want to chew gum like.
Yeah, we didn't want to do that.
ASMR for
and
you
also,
guys.
like, I didn't want to rely on coffee, but I'm at this point where I'm like, should we rely on coffee right now?
I don't know if I had a Star Wars pop. Anyway.
Do you have a Star Wars pop?
I do have Star Wars pops, but I don't know if I have one with me here.
Oh. Luis has...
Oh, I get Obi-Wan ones. Those are my favorite. And
how many
Troopers.
How many pops do you have in total?
Probably over 150.
150 pops. And
Yeah.
Luis was getting them, what, like 4 or 5 years ago?
Dude, probably like 4 years ago.
Yeah, dude, because I remember your first pop. Still to this day, I actually get it now because I was into reselling, like shoes and all that. But I didn't see the value I understood like card values, like whenever you'd get like player cards, things like that. But I never understood how it worked. Sneakers, different. That translated different for me. Cards, didn't really understand it, but I knew there was value. But
Right.
Pops did not get the idea. I was like, he's delusional. Not I didn't think like that in the sense of like he's stupid for doing it, but like obviously I was like, oh, he's more into like how cool and unique they are and what they were bringing out.
Oh
But
yeah.
I didn't think they were going to be like worth anything to what they are now. Like he has a pop that is worth
like $900.
$900.
That's an Obi-Wan one.
And that is
from-
insane, guys. I don't think you understand. That's insane.
It's
a
worth-
pop is literally, you could buy one at Walmart for $20. But obviously, I'm not disrespecting Pops. Everyone else, don't come after me. I know, I understand now. Okay? So, yes.
It's just the rarity and
you
everything.
get a certain thing and they stop making it, that makes it rare. I understand it. So, to all the pop collectors, he's one of them.
Yeah.
And he is religious with them. He's like, I don't think I'm going to buy any more Pops. And he just buys a 3-pack of Spider-Man.
That's the No Way Home Spider-Man 3-pack, dude.
He's such a fucking liar. He says something he's not going to do, but he knows he can do it.
This is a different story, though.
No, it's not. It's not a different story.
Yeah.
It's not a different story, guys. No.
Shirt. Look at the comic, and they drop this. You don't think I'm gonna get this shit? You don't think I'm gonna get it? This is the only one, and you gotta remember this came out. This came out like 5 months ago.
Yeah, I know. And
This
you
is the
got
last
it,
one
you
I've
got it
gotten.
as soon as it.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it.
Yeah,
and
but still.
it's got Toby on there.
It's
It's got
super dope. Let
Andrew.
me see it.
It's got Tom
It's
Holland.
not them, but I get what you're saying.
He's in there. They put a hair in there. See.
That would be sick.
That would be weird. That's
I
too far.
I get how you would say that'd be weird, but like it's like an autograph, but DNA.
That's just us not in the cup.
Literally DNA.
No, like if you do
Yeah,
like a piece of
fucking-
their suit on there, like behind it. That's,
I like what they do. Have you seen the NFL cards?
Yes,
When
we're not
they-
gonna get into all that right now. But
Okay,
yes.
I know we were already in the NFL last thing, but that's what I know. Like whenever he brought up the suits and stuff, I know that like with NFL cards, they'll cut a piece of the jersey. So like they'll cut like the emblem part, and they'll be like, "Oh, this was Tom."
There's people that custom make them. So
yeah, they
not
have,
getting too far. That no, like let's say your son gets into baseball when he's older, and he has his high school like jersey. You can send in the jersey, and they make a card of your son with his picture and his stats and everything. It's pretty sick. I've seen a guy do it. Anyway, without getting into
you
all
know
that,
what I'm gonna tell you right now, dude. I want Nikolai to be a boxer or like heavy into martial arts. I want him to be a baseball player too. I want him to be heavy in sports, but dude, I would love a freaking like so. Just of late, like of recent, like obviously. So Delilah, her mom's boyfriend, is like heavy into boxing. And I started getting heavy into boxing. And I was like, dude, these guys are sick as hell. It's such a classical like thing. So like everyone thinks it's like, and then watching Creed 3.
oh yeah, but people get hurt doing that shit, bro. It's really dangerous.
Yeah, but so is everything else. Football's dangerous. Baseball's dangerous. Bro,
Yeah, but you're getting
did you
punched
see
in the
what
face
happened to
repeatedly.
Justin Turner? This happened about a month ago, guys. So,
He got his back blown out.
no,
I didn't know.
he got his freaking mitt. They turned it inside out. No, he took 100-mile-an-hour fastball to the face. Bro.
Oh, I did see that. I actually did see that. That was
That's
nuts.
dangerous. That's literally getting hit by a truck straight to the dome piece.
So, without getting too far off here,
I'm ready for Young Jedi Adventures. See those Disney Junior.
that's literally going to be for Nikolai. That's how you're going to get him started. So, what's funny about this, right? What's funny about Young Jedi Adventures is it's like Disney, like that Disney Junior Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, like that type of animation. But it's prior to Master Skywalker. There's too many of them. What are we going to do?
Shut up.
Yes, that's going to be the final episode. No, I'm just kidding. You just see Anakin getting ready to slaughter them all like animals.
Gets dark as hell, dude. Wait, don't they have that? No, that was what's his name? The clone. What's his name? The guy that's a trooper in the New Order, but he decides to go with what's her name? So what's that?
Oh, Finn.
Finn, thank you. So Finn, he was part of the one of the kids that was involved with that, but he survived, right?
Yeah. So stormtroopers, yeah. So they did a program where they were just collecting people to raise them as stormtroopers.
Yeah.
As like military, right? Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
So we're gonna get Ahsoka right in August. So this is basically, oh dude, I forgot. We're getting we get these literally in 2 weeks.
May 4th.
Less than 2 weeks, 13 days.
I love the May 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. May 5th we get, oh my God, May 5th we get Guardians 3. We could talk about that here in a minute. So to conclude, well, not to conclude with Star Wars, but Star Wars, what we're expecting is Visions. Do you know Star Wars Visions?
No.
So basically what Star Wars did is they brought in their media as far as Star Wars is concerned. And they basically brought a bunch of different Japanese animation studios. And they basically said, you get an episode, you get to do what you want with it.
Oh, so kind of like what they did with what is that Marvel series?
Oh, What If?
What If?
Yeah. It's kind of like that, except there's a bunch of different famous animation studios. So you have like some that look like Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah.
And you have some that are like the what's the other one? The Korra, like that one Avatar one.
Yeah.
You have some that, but there's like a bunch of different ones, and they're all their stories.
That's super dope. I like.
Do you remember like that shorts? It was like a big trend through Star Wars. I don't know if you saw it, and it was like a video, like a sound from shorts or TikTok, and she goes, "Your lightsaber's red." Have you ever heard that? And she pulls out the lightsaber. That video that made that girl famous. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, but I do remember.
That voice, like that voiceover, is from Vision season.
What was that series? It was a Star Wars series, and it was anime.
That's Visions. Yeah, that's Star Wars Visions.
Oh, okay. So then I've already seen.
Yeah, so volume 2. Well, volume 2 comes out in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, because I saw the one where she like splits open, right, and turns into the crystal.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking something.
Yeah, wrong video.
I was like, hey, how your Rosa? So Ahsoka, then Skeleton Crew is, what's funny about Skeleton Crew is it's like a show with kids, but it's not a kids show. So there's a guy that Jude Law. You know who Jude Law is? He's the actor from Sherlock Holmes. That's opposite of Sherlock Holmes.
No.
The one with RDJ, Robert Downey Jr.
So he's his partner, right?
Yeah, in that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, Jude Law. That's the actor, right?
Uh-huh.
He was also in what was the other damn movie? Anyway, he was in Captain Marvel. But anyway, he like takes in. I guess these kids are running away from like the Empire and stuff, and it's like and this takes place in Mandalorian and Ahsoka this same timeline, but they haven't really said too much about what it's gonna be yet. But I guess it's like a show about them like trying to escape. Yeah,
That's
they
pretty
say it's pretty
legit.
cool. Andor, I need to watch. I'm actually ashamed.
I haven't either.
I haven't seen. And
But it's not that. And they say it's really good. Like
they said, it's the best one.
But it's not that I haven't tried to watch it. It's just, dude, there was a lot that came out when Andor
There was a
came
lot
out.
that came out. Like there was so much going on when Andor season 1 came out. But so I don't know if you know what Andor is. Andor is right before Rogue One. So Rogue One was a spin-off movie that basically, when A New Hope came out, and remember, R2 had to take the plans to, or they had to get the plans to Leia that Leia got the plans to R2 to give
So
to
they can
Ben,
approve. Yeah.
right? So in the end of the movie, or in the beginning, they say there was a lot of people that sacrificed themselves to get these plans over, right?
Yeah.
Rogue One is about that story, about like how many people risked their lives and died to get those plans to
Yeah,
Leia.
because it
How
showed
important
it showed like
Now that
the
is a
plans
Darth
and
Vader
what-
sequence that is legendary. Oh my god. It's so damn good. Dude, it's so good in Rogue One. That's one of my favorite of all time. So
I gotta rewatch it, bro.
Dave
'cause-
Filoni directed that. I think it was Dave Filoni or John Favreau. I want to say it was Dave Filoni.
I just gotta say I have to watch it again because
Dude.
I am so.
If there's I'll tell you this.
You
That
ever-
is the best Disney product as far as a movie goes in Star Wars that they've done so far.
and I'm pretty sure you haven't experienced this because you're pretty respectful to any series. But
Yeah.
have you ever like watched a series or a movie and it wasn't your favorite, and so now it's just like a black blob of an image?
That's how Walking Dead is for me.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you
After
go.
so long, it's like whatever. It becomes whatever. And I feel like more in tune with that with a lot of series I'm watching now. But Andor season 1 and season 2 is prior to the events of Rogue One, right?
Yeah.
So season 2 is, the way that they explained it is every 4 episodes is a year passing by. So basically there's going to be 16 episodes that go over the course of a total of 4 years. Yeah, so there's 4 episodes that describe a year, then a year later. That's how it goes on to show you what led on to Rogue One. Like
That's
the forming
sweet.
of the rebels. Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
So
So
that's what
that's Andor season 2. Yeah. I got to watch season 1. Me and Elijah have been talking about watching Andor since it dropped. We're like, have you seen Andor yet? We literally call each other every day. Have you seen Andor? No, we need to watch it. And that's where it ends.
yeah, I think it's time.
So, okay, although some have assumed, so right here, the upcoming Star Wars movies, there's 3 untitled movies that they're talking about. So they have basically what it's going to be about, but they don't have a title yet. So basically, they're stepping away from the Skywalker saga, and they're kind of broadening the timeline. Although some have assumed will be called Dawn of the Jedi. No official title has been given. What is known is that it's set 25,000 years before anything we've seen before, and that it will introduce the first Jedi, investigate the origins of the Force itself.
Oh wow!
See,
that's
as Mangold,
what we need.
Yes, I'm so excited. As Mangold said on stage at Star Wars Celebration, quote, "Where did the Force come from? Where did we discover it? When did we know how to use it? Those questions and likely many more will be raised and hopefully answered by this feature."
I love directors that ask questions.
Oh yeah.
And then they like, okay, I'm gonna ask this question. We're gonna make a series or we're gonna make a movie about it.
And then this is what I'm really excited about is Dave Filoni, the untitled Dave Filoni project. So Dave Filoni is basically the George Lucas of our time. He was basically George Lucas Jr. He handed everything over to, he was basically under George Lucas's wing. He sold it to Disney and gave him the reins. Go for it. So he did Clone Wars. That was like his big thing, was Clone Wars. That's why a lot of people like him. Then he did Mando and all that. John Favreau is actually like the guy too. He's the guy who directed Iron Man. John Favreau.
Damn, he's good.
Those guys.
He's a great
We have
director, man.
powerhouse guys there. So this movie is basically about. So like it says right here, Filoni teased in comments to Collider that story will connect events in Ahsoka series to events in The Mandalorian and perhaps more, saying things aren't that great when we began The Force Awakens.
What?
So will this be where we finally get to see the origins and rise of the First Order? Yeah. So it's literally tying up all of what we've seen so far in Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka,
So they're like,
and they're
"Let's
making
make
a
this
film.
better."
It's the Avengers type come together movie.
And this is
For
kind of
Star Wars.
This is kind of where I kind of want to let the audience know, like, we are gonna go. This isn't like Star Wars is kind of just like we're brushing into talking about right now, but like, dude, I can't wait till we go into Marvel. I can't wait till we get into like the different oh my god, and even like Luis was talking about powerhouse directors and like what DC's starting to do right now.
I
bro.
told everybody, they were like, no, I've been hearing it. No.
and it's
And
not
they don't-
it's not our fault. The past 15 years of movies from DC have sucked balls.
Okay,
and
calm
it's
down.
not
not 15. Not 15.
10 years.
A little less than 10, maybe. Not
Okay, well,
15.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm being a little dramatic
Yes.
because not all of them sucked balls. I'm a big Batman fan in the movies. I loved the movies that they did. But what they're doing now,
Need a bus?
it's getting really good.
Oh yeah.
And like what they plan on doing, I think the big fumble in Marvel, and I don't want to get too out of what we're going through right
I
now.
want to finish with this and get into that.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to, because I want to finish with just this project and basically and kind of summarize all of it.
Let's do it.
And then
Sorry.
no.
Sorry,
No, we all want to, because it's important to us.
Yeah.
And important to everybody, like the direction of where these movies are going to go. So
yeah, like you were saying, this is basically the Avengers. So this is as far as we've gotten. What is it, like 30 years of Star Wars? Probably more. I'm sorry.
of
Like 50
starting
years.
from where?
I don't know math. So especially right now, whenever
Yeah,
I
but in
don't,
30 years, what are you talking about? Are you talking about just in the Mandalorian era?
No, I'm talking about in real life. So like, you know how you're saying like this is gonna be the Avengers?
No. This is supposed to come out like in the next couple of years.
No, I know, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm expressing right now is the Star Wars has been a thing and it's so good
since
consistently since the 1970s, right?
Yeah. Mid to late 70s.
But what
yeah.
they're doing is they're still hitting home runs.
Oh, yeah.
And what they're going to do is adding this new light into Star Wars is not only going to be another movement of fantastic movie sagas that are going to come through these like consecutive movies and shows, but I mean the only thing that we've experienced to be similar is the Avengers, and we're going to experience that with Star Wars, and I'm excited.
And what I will tell you is it's important if these paths that they are taking are important to you, you got to go watch it in the theater, because there's a lot of good movies probably that come out in the last year or two, even the 5 years I would even say, really, that are so good, but people don't go and watch it and they lose their box office earnings and they don't make any sequels. And it's like a total
that's
disaster
why we have
and
to
they do
watch it in
such a good job, and it's just like, damn, because nobody went and watched it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and it's smart
So
that
it's
you
so
guys-
important that you guys go and watch these films to make sure that
they're getting funded so they can create another series, so they can have that actual business proof. This is making money to continue this. Because, dude, how good are those Star Wars movies?
Oh, they're good.
Holy shit.
I might watch Rogue One tonight. That's one of my favorites, dude. The way fucking Darth Vader comes out is crazy. It's all dark and you shoot, dude. I need a bus. That's how I feel every time, dude. So I'm pulling out my nut button.
And what Luis is saying is like, look at all these movies. It says none of these future projects have release dates. December 19th.
Attached, but Disney has scheduled 2 untitled Star Wars films for theatrical release December 19th, 2025, and December 17th.
And that's literally the same week as my birthday.
That's
Every
their thing.
single thing. And that's why I'm like, I'm so disappointed that like I'm so close in relation with Star Wars. And I'm just so fucking
Well,
far
they
apart.
all have their times on when they were in release films. So Marvel is February, May, November.
Look at this motherfucker.
February, May, November. Sometimes they'll sneak in a July appearance. So like February, we had, what did we have?
Spider-Man.
No, Spider-Man was December. But it's kind of weird prior because they just come off COVID and they're trying to push out projects. But they always do. May is always the Avengers films. Primarily Avengers films. November is like Black Panther they did. And they did
They're gonna have
some other
Guardians
ones.
of the Galaxy.
Guardians
this
of the
year.
Galaxy. Yeah. May 5th.
May.
Literally it's at May 5th slot.
That's so dope.
That's their trifecta there is that. February, May, November slots. So, okay, so fans have known about this project since October of last year, when it was reported that Ms. Marvel director would be helming a new Star Wars feature written by Lost and Watchmen's Damon Lindelof. So I was excited about that, but it turns out that this writer left, right? So Somewhere Willow writer, creator, so it's Dave Filoni. In late March, Lindelof departed the project. Okay, so everybody was kind of like annoyed about that, you know what I mean? But was replaced by Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight. That's what I'm so excited about. So I think for me, it changes the whole aspect of the film in a good way. Because Peaky Blinders is such a good show. They haven't missed. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't.
Peaky Blinders is legendary.
I've heard like only good things about it.
But this is the film that's about Daisy Ridley, about Rey bringing back the Jedi Order. That's why I think it's really important for it to have like that dark aspect to it, because there's no Jedi and then they have to, restart again. So that's what we have coming
entirely
up.
Bad.
Oh, okay. Oh, if they do that, bro, I don't even know what I'll do, bro. The Knights of the Old Republic.
Make me act up.
Dude, Knights of the Old Republic is crazy. You know who that is? It's the director of Thor Ragnarok right there. And that's Korg.
Let's go.
And IG-11.
Let's go.
And, see, I just keep going.
Yeah, you just keep reading through upcoming Star Wars
That
shows.
one. Dude, if there's one that I think you'll enjoy, is this one. The Acolyte.
What is the Acolyte? Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to go into all this. I'm going to make it simple. The original report said The Acolyte is a female-centric Star Wars serial set.
Yeah.
Set roughly 100 years prior to the events of The Phantom Menace. The Acolyte will explain how the Sith infiltrated the Jedi.
That's sick.
You see, they're doing it like they're filling in all those little
spots, the gray areas, the gray
quote
areas
unquote
of
plot
questions.
holes. Oh, dude, that's the one I'm really excited for. Like the Ahsoka one, yeah. The Acolyte is what I'm freaking waiting on, dude. I need a bus. What did it say the thing was at? 2024. Damn.
Every time I see a release date for upcoming shows or movies, I'm like, fuck, that's a long time.
But then it goes by
it goes by so fast.
It does.
Like, I was really excited for this new Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was like, we're already here.
Oh, yeah.
Because the last Guardians of the Galaxy came out 2 years ago. Right? Was it 3 years ago?
Last Guardians came out in
2018.
The original one came out in 14. Then the next one came out in 17.
We have to look. But I mean, what I'm trying to express here is it's always a later date that they bring out these movies, and here we are. We're already 2023, and we're
2017. It is 2017.
That's what I mean. Like,
it's been 5 years.
5 years.
Well, in you have to remember it's 2017.
But then
and
they
we
had
got
the
18
series.
and 19. Well, no, we had 18 and 19 with them in Infinity War, and we had them in Infinity War. We had them in Endgame, and then we had them in Thor.
the
Love
Ragnarok.
and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. That's what it is. Dude,
So,
that movie was good.
I don't understand how people didn't like it.
was
I
such a
enjoyed
good
it.
movie.
I enjoyed it for sure. I love when the Stormbreakers just comes out of the corner.
Whenever he's talking about
We were just
the
talking.
hammer. Let's go over the timeline now. I know.
Yeah, so basically-
we wanted to get heavy in Star Wars today because it's just the Mandalorian
really pushed us there.
pushed this. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was such a good series. To everyone that wasn't very happy about it, I really suggest you see it as just a like Luis was saying earlier. It's a closing in another chapter to lead into something like this. And whenever they bring out events, if it's in London, Japan for, what do you call it? The
Star Wars Celebration.
Star Wars Celebration.
2025.
Look they're bringing out the Dawn of the Jedi. They brought out the new Jedi Order. This isn't the end. It's just, and you read just a second ago that they're going to tie all these things in together, and it's just going to be so good, and you're going to be glad that they did what they did. And with the directors, like you're saying, they're the OGs. And they're basically
powerhouse forces of Star Wars for sure.
Basically, they were knighted in by George Lucas himself. So it's not anything to sleep on. So, and that comes from someone that slept on a lot of no pun intended, but like I literally slept on the last series of movies, and then finally I was like I got smacked super hard in the face by these new series that they came out on Disney. It was so good. So good.
And
with the Mandalorian, the Obi-Wan, everything is just. Now I got to rewatch these movies so I can understand where they all connect. And sometimes that's how you got to learn. A lot of these people are like me, and they're like, "Oh, I want the nostalgia of, 1990s Star Wars."
Yeah.
But you're not going to get that. You're going to get something better, and it's going to be like more. They explain it so well now.
Oh yeah.
What we wanted, and it was probably because we were kids, and this is myself speaking for myself, is, we just wanted those meaningless fights that were sick as fuck.
Oh yeah, and they'll always live with us like, dude, that fight is supposed to be the most legendary fight because it was the balance of the force was literally on it. It was teetering.
That's true. Is an impact of a fight. That's probably number one.
That is not 100% number one. Anybody tells me anything else.
Number two is gotta be from Obi-Wan series.
I don't know,
and that
man.
fight was so good.
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna tell you right now. You got Anakin and got Obi-Wan fighting.
It was
again,
good. I'll give it top 3.
But you went.
I don't know
but
if I put it at 2.
That was a youthful Vader, and that was still towards the end of his prime of Obi-Wan, and it was so good. The fight was great, and it was probably
the
one
rematch.
The rematch was great. It's that's why I said I want to say it's my number one, not because it's better than the last fight. Because if we're gonna say
so you're taking the Obi-Wan fight over the Revenge of the Sith
and the
fight.
reason I do that is because now you got this actual because right now Anakin actually is Darth Vader. There's no more Anakin. It's Darth Vader, Obi-Wan. What we had before, it was Anakin finally showing his true colors, which was okay. It was great, but he wasn't still the strongest in the Sith. He wasn't that guy yet with the Emperor. Now you got that with this rematch, and then you still have Obi-Wan, who is that guy as a Jedi. And the fight scene was amazing. I think it was a little bit longer than the first one.
No, it wasn't. It was shorter.
It was a mile. Was it shorter?
Dude, that fight scene in Revenge of the Sith is the longest lightsaber battle of all time. And it's so good.
Yeah, they have them fucking bouncing around everything. It's like they made a setting, and they're like, look, our budget is this, and a lot of this budget's going to go into this setting. So we're gonna fight around this damn setting as much as we can.
It's the climactic fight of the whole trilogy, bro. It's the return of the king of this freaking thing,
But I also think, dude, I like I said, I could take the other one over because you can see the strength of Darth Vader.
I see what you're saying, but at the same time,
and the series expressed it too because he went through
that. You got to remember that Revenge of the Sith fight is the best. And the reason why I say
disagreeing.
No, but the reason I want to say the reason I say my point is it's the best is because you throughout the prior 2 films you see their relationship come together as they're like brothers. Even though he's his master over him, they're like brothers, right?
Yeah, because
it's like an older brother and a younger brother. And the last time he sees him, he goes, he's like, it's crazy because Anakin tells Obi-Wan, he goes, "I'm sorry, I haven't been the I haven't been the apprentice that I should be, and I need to be better." And he sees his wrongdoings, he's like, and I'm sorry about that. I should be better. You're a very good master, and you've been really good to me. And he goes, "No, well, you're gonna be a wonderful Jedi, Anakin. You are gonna be the guy that brings balance to us all." And he's telling him
and he throws
it's a real
off
heart to heart moment, and he goes, but he's supposed to go he's supposed to go on another mission without him. He goes, I'll see you soon. May the force be with you. And that's the last time you get that. Because the next time when he comes back to Anakin slaying younglings and he's a Sith. That's what he comes back to after that conversation. It's just it's such an emotional fight. And then it's a physical fight to the max. Like, you don't see lightsaber fights like that at all.
You're right.
And then at the end, he just,
you make some amazing points, because mine's only because you get to see like the real.
Oh, to see Darth Vader fight was like so good. And it was so good.
And I think that's that nostalgia trying to like over the best fight ever. But like, bro, that, like you said, the round, like fight 2, you got your fight 1 was amazing. And then you get the fight 2, which was.
I love when he cuts his mask and he tells him
oh, dude.
You did not kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. Oh, I love that scene. I love that freaking scene.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so good.
Because you don't when after Anakin died, because he, is now Darth Vader. You never got to see his face since. You know what I mean? Such a 2K.
I'm Ron Finley, also known as the Gangster Gardener.
I'm not even gonna ask. I'm just doing it.
Out of necessity for healthy food. The connectivity with social media, with the internet, has helped spread my word.
The professional? I believe there's a stain operative in this very room.
Huh?
I hate tuxes like that. Is that
what, the white?
Stains are no match.
I'm more of a black tux guy.
Yeah,
It's very classy.
I hate white.
The white with black, like, just wear all white, dude.
You might as well pimp it. Holy shit, dude.
Oh, bro, I thought it was in full screen.
If you haven't seen this fight scene, you guys are way behind. This is so sick. But like, they don't even like show him fly down yet. You know what I mean?
There's so much tension.
Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan?
Oh my god, I'm a nut.
I will do what I must.
That it's just so much like Easter egg nostalgia things that are happening exactly right there. You have Darth Vader's voice again from the original trilogy. They basically used AI to
really?
Yeah, they used AI to use all like the old recordings and make that voice.
Thank God for AI.
And then he says, "I will do what I must." That was exactly the same words Obi-Wan said to Anakin right before the first fight. Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. He goes, what the heck does he say? What does he say? If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. And he's only a Sith deals in absolutes. And then, then he goes, I will do what I must. That's the next thing he says. And then he says, you will try. And then that's when they fight.
Dude, that's so good.
And then that's the Obi-Wan stance. That is the Form 3. Form 3?
Yeah.
It's Form 3.
Dude, that's... yes.
That's why there's so much, like, with this... There's so much detail they have. So, that's a perfect example there, right? Like, so much shit happened there that, like, you don't realize. Like, so if you notice, Obi-Wan or Darth Vader is such a good fighter that when he knows he's that guy, he barely moves.
Yes.
He moves his arms, he moves when he has to, and he controls everything. This fight is so emotional to him he's very passionate emotion. He's not fighting. Like he just wants to rip him apart. Because the last time that these guys really fought,
he lost body parts.
Literally. He saw his third leg.
His third leg. That's so good. Oh, dude, this is so badass.
That's sick.
That was so dope. It's crazy because it's just them.
Oh yeah.
'Cause that's such a powerful thing when you get two people that hate each other, an area where no one else can stop them but themselves.
Exactly. Exactly. He's like, nah, bro, what do you think this is?
Strength has returned. But the weakness still remains.
But he's so strong right there.
Oh,
Darth
he's
Vader is like. That's
That
crazy.
is why you will always lose. Did you truly think that
Bro, you treated him like a bowl of beans, bro. You just mashed him, bro.
you have failed, Master?
And then he comes out.
Just the way he calls him master too.
The respect.
Literally.
Holy shit, how did I forget this?
He's like, I'm about to blow. I love when Darth Vader tells him, "I am what you made me." Oh, dude, that line goes so hard, bro.
It's like another way of like disrespecting it.
Oh yeah. Say so.
I fucking hate ads, especially in a climatic moment like that.
Well, if we get YouTube Premium when this starts being profitable, we'll get YouTube Premium. All of our funds are going to P-Hub Premium.
Gotta keep that subscription.
100%.
Tell me
That part's fire.
Yes, when he catches it.
Yes. You gonna use a force, motherfucker?
You've never seen Darth Vader get thrown around like that. So
No.
That's what I was like.
The only thing I've seen from that is Star Killer do that.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah, exactly. So to see this in actual film, it's like, no way. This is my favorite part right here.
This is crazy. Is it weird that I had like an emotional like not breakdown, because I didn't really quite cry, but like it gives you that emotional like sadness.
Oh, 100%. No, it's not weird.
Because you wish Anakin that we knew was still there.
Oh, yeah. Stop, Dad.
It's like, ugh.
He's like Anakin.
Anakin.
Anakin's gone.
Like how it's mixed.
Yes.
I am what remains.
I'm sorry.
This is so good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Anakin. For all of it.
I am not your failure, Obi-Wan. You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. The same way, I will destroy you.
So, did you see all that visual, what was happening, the way that they incorporated light on that? So, like, you look here, right? The most watched part, obviously, right? So, there's so much happening right here. So, starting with his mask being cut, right? So, this is the first time that you see, like, as far as chronologically, that his mask is being cut. So, there are only 3 people that have ever unmasked Darth Vader, right? So half of his mask gets destroyed by Obi-Wan, his left side, right? The right side gets destroyed a different time by Ahsoka, and the last time his helmet comes off when Luke saves him. So those are different attempts at bringing Anakin back, and the only one truly actually bringing him back is Luke at the end, when he finally takes off his helmet. Isn't that crazy?
That is so fucking badass.
Like,
I can't be more passionate about.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much symbolism.
Yes. And
like when you see,
I am what remains.
He's calling for him, right? And he apologizes for everything because, you know, he leaves him there to die because it's too emotional for him to like kill him in a final blow. And you see this blue light here because he's trying to bring him back. He's really trying to pretty much bring that connection back. But you see it really when he's talking right now, when Anakin talks. You see blue. See how it shows up?
I'm not your failure, Obi-Wan.
It's Anakin talking at that point. He's like, I'm not your failure.
Didn't kill.
He's like, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. He's like, I did. It's me that did this.
I did.
And at that point, you see the blue fade away. See the blue fade away. And you see the red. You see Darth Vader finally 100% take over.
Oh my. Luis, yes. God. People like you make me love watching this shit. I would have never, like, I understand symbolism. Like, I understand it. But, like, you don't really know how to translate it. It's those things like emotions.
Yeah.
Like you can translate it if you get really good at understanding, like, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm this. Same thing for symbolism. Whenever like the colors, like wearing red is full Vader.
Yeah.
But the blue was the hope that was
Anakin was gonna come. Yeah.
Dude, but like the way you expressed it and explained it just made that scene so good. Even better than whenever I was watching it before. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Holy shit, you guys better like and subscribe and comment, motherfuckers, because this was good.
This was good. This was a good little dive into Star Wars today. We didn't even get into crazy. I mean, there's so much, and it'll happen over the course as these series come out, as little details come out.
Oh, we're gonna go back and forth, because all we can do really is appreciate the art, and expressing what we were saying earlier is you guys have to like take in everything and experience it in the moment and not take it for granted. Like, this is my son and my daughter are gonna watch this and they're gonna be like, this is so old, and like, when are they gonna come out with a new one? And you never know, that like 10 years from now, 20 years from now is different from 20 years before, because they didn't have that much content out on media. Now it's getting fully milked, and we're getting to experience like its peak of information down to, series, shows, movies, boom, 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 back to back. So we have to experience it in a grateful, like, we have to have the gratitude.
Oh, we have to be very grateful for all the Star Wars content
and it's
that we're
not,
getting.
and because, as I guess anyone really, since, information's so lucrative, we take it for granted. But like, scenes like this, shows that are fully like developed and they do not skip a beat on basically expressing it to the people in the community. This is stuff that just is like iconic and it lives forever. So we're living during that moment. So it's like coming back to this and knowing this happened just like about a year ago or 2 years ago. It's like, dude, I missed it, but like, you brought it back.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, we're still going to get more of this.
Oh yeah.
Which is crazy to think, because as of right now, I'm just grateful that this scene happened. And not only that, the last fight the first fight of Anakin and Obi-Wan, but this is amazing. This is why I say this might be number one for me, because it was just such a, like, the reunion of trying again.
Yeah. It's just Revenge of the Sith for me is just my favorite movie.
But Obi-Wan, dude, is, like you were saying, and I think the audience and everyone understands, like, now, like, and I get a clear vision of like the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan and Anakin were like brothers.
Yeah.
And then for anyone that has siblings, you understand this, or you have close cousins, or if you have a really good friend, you understand. And if you've ever been betrayed, you understand how crazy emotional this scene is.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is so good in the sense of everything.
And there's a broad spectrum of people looking into Star Wars when they don't know anything about it. They just see, oh, that's like a 300-pound nerd in his mom's basement watching like space stuff, and they don't understand that there's so much more to it than just people fighting and people.
Yeah, exactly. But
like space and future, like there's a real big emotional attachments that they show in the film and the shows.
I think what Star Wars does really well is translate like common reality. So like we were talking about the politic parts, but they put it into film, and they do it in more of a creative sense.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but they give you the dark and the light.
Yeah.
Which in any story is very important. So like you were saying, it's not just based around nerds sitting in their mom's basement, things like that. The stereotype of anyone that gets super involved in any comic, it's super underappreciated.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like the people that will give it a chance, if they ever do, 100% take it with like you're watching art. Like everyone wants to respect an artist's painting and drawings, and they want to spread that. This is form, but in film.
Exactly.
And it's so good. So appreciate it and don't ever take advantage of it.
Oh, no kidding. But the part that like right here where like I'll explain here in a minute as this plays. This is the final ending spot.
Goodbye, Darth.
Luke finally gives up that Obi-Wan isn't. Or I mean, that
Anakin is
Anakin's
gone.
gone. So he's yelling for him, right?
Yeah.
So Obi-Wan leaves that fight.
Yes.
In A New Hope, when they first meet up in that final battle, when Obi-Wan dies, right? When he becomes a Force ghost. Obi-Wan talks about, or Darth Vader talks about when I left you the last time. He's all, I've grown in power since the last time that I left you. So being that Obi-Wan left him at this point, I believe that there's going to be another interaction between Obi-Wan and Vader again, where Vader leaves Obi-Wan, to where that continuation fits. I hope so.
All I gotta say is I appreciate you for remembering stuff like this, because I would like, you're good.
I
good. I'd go because I had no idea he even said that. And then the correlation. Luis is on another level of this.
This is just my thing, man.
This is why I'm saying, guys, you guys need to respect them if you're part of the really fanatics of Star Wars sagas. So that's crazy, because I'm over here just slipping on.
I just thought of Randall, bro.
Literally.
Or A$AP Rocky.
A$AP Rocky slipping on semen.
No homo. How he says it.
No homo.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we did a real good deep dive today in Star Wars. So, thank you for joining us, YouTube, today. We're going to be posting a lot more, at least once a week. Like and subscribe. So next week, to give you guys a sneak peek of next week is the NFL draft. So instead of us recording on Fridays like we have normally been doing, we're going to be recording on Thursday.
It's Thursday,
and we're going to do a live reaction of draft day. So,
guys and gals, tune in. It's super dope because, it's going to be our first live show. And then also, we get to experience the future. And, we might even go through a list of, the first rounders that were hits and misses.
Yep. So
stay
catch
tuned.
us. Yep, stay tuned. Check out our socials. So Instagram, Twitter, you'll see some updates on when we'll be going live, where we'll be going live, and it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. So
hell yeah. I'm excited.
This is Untitled.
This is Untitled.
Hell yeah. So
good night.
Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen. Good night.